scarred for life, but I'm set for life, and I'm set for life, but I'm scarred for life, and I'm coming at you. I'm fucking crazy. I'm fucking psycho, fucking insane. That's the fucking chorus right there.
You nailed it,
That is
dude.
good.
You nailed it.
Yeah.
You nailed it, and you visually transformed into fucking Joe Rogan. There,
You
dude.
did.
You fucking,
Oh, Joe Rogan. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
you did. You visually transformed
That's
yourself into Joe Rogan. It was amazing. Hey! You know,
I'm back.
Hey, you made it just in time, Prince. Yeah, special celebration of Prince's death episode because we like to celebrate death around here
we
as
do.
well as life.
We do, because can't have one without the other. One of these things is not like the other, but
The
they're
yang
one
to
and
the
the same.
That's right.
Mhm.
This is
3,000
big
big room bucks. What's that from?
Say it again.
One of these things are not like the other. One of these things are one and the same.
Scooby doop 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 doop.
Now it's time to play a game. What's his name? It's the man we all know and love.
No, tell me what's his name.
I think his name was Kwame. So we're back to Kwame, are we?
Back
And,
to Kwame, damn
And
it.
who was the backup dancer again? Oh, it's Vin Diesel.
That's right. Young Vin Diesel somehow is a backup dancer.
To young Vin
That's
Diesel.
a lot of big room bucks right there. Again,
Truth. Speaking of which, if you don't already know by the fray that we just threw at you, you've arrived in the big room where you will be transformed into what we damn well want you to be.
Into a
Just joking. Into some kind of
walrus.
into a Joe Rogan. The wizard beard has been transformed into the walrus already.
Yes.
Cuckoo Kachoob. And
the wizard beard was we had so many compliments on the wizard beard, and he switched it up. But there's a point to it.
There's always a point.
He's got the cuckoo Kachoo. Now he's got a big cuckoo Kachoo summons.
Wizard stash.
Yeah.
The elongated wizard stash.
Biker stash. Summon.
Yeah, it's a biker stash now, but it will become a good wizard stash.
I'm definitely growing for the 1970s China martial arts bad guy beard.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, the pledge.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, shave down the beard, then let the beard grow back in, but let the mustache keep growing there.
That's awesome. It looks great. It's really impressive.
It looks good. Yeah, I was happy with it right now.
Not to make everything about me, but I've been trying to grow my mustache longer. As you can see, normally my mustachio is smaller and twists out. I was thinking about letting it kind of just connect because it doesn't connect here normally. So
yeah.
Just kind of do that and then connect it down to my one chest hair.
That was the last part that connected for me as well. It was right there in the corner of the mouth.
I am getting hairier every year.
Nice.
Yes, indeed.
I also contemplated. We're talking to K-Rock. I was trying to see about maybe
bringing K-Rock, everybody.
You know, once I get the mustache down long enough to bring the hair from the back around and braid it into the mustache.
That'd be incredible. No one's done that yet.
Right.
That's
I got a little bit of growth to go there, but I was like, you know what? I wonder if I could bring that around, braid that right into the mustache beard.
Remember the first time seeing the nose ring chain to the ear?
Yeah, which I always thought was a horrible idea.
A horrible idea, just asking for it.
Yeah.
Something's gonna get ripped. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. It's gonna get ripped, Dorothy.
Gonna rip that right out of your face, Dorothy.
Right on. Hey, ad hoc. Should we be asking you something sooner than later?
Yes.
As is the way of the hawk.
Yes, please.
Ad hoc. Can I ask you something, ad hoc?
Yes, please.
Come closer. What?
Hello.
Are you drinking?
Oh, thank you. I thought you would never ask. Well, I don't have my purple shirt on today, but I am making a purple drink.
Nice.
So here's what we got. Here's what we're rolling with tonight. We are rolling with ice and blueberries because they're purple.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pour some Burnett's gin over top of this with some seltzer water and some St. Elders.
Nice.
St. Elders, nice, right?
So we're gonna do the St. Elders is 20% alcohol by volume, so it's 40 proof. So I'm gonna do 2 shots of that and 2 shots of the Burnett's, and then that'll bring me up to
my demise.
3 shots. Well, I mean,
no, I'm joking. It just sounds like a 4-shot drink right there. Then
yeah, but the alcohol's the
lower amount.
Lower, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because what you said, the 2 are 20%, and the other 2 are what, 40?
Yes.
Yeah. So
here we go. I'm gonna do it. Hey T, but let me ask you right back. What are you drinking?
Well, I can't answer that.
Yet. Or at all.
He's frozen. He's faking it.
I'm faking frozen. Well, I can tell you how I'm starting out. I'm going to start out probably by finishing this. There's probably about an ounce left in there. And then I will be grabbing a bottle of wine. I'm going to be going down into our wine cellar in the left wing of the house.
Of course.
The dog buried our wine, so I could eat it. That's the cellar now. But and I'm going to grab a bottle of wine and drink a bottle of wine tonight. We have 2, and I'm going to drink half of those.
Get the purplest one you got.
Oh, it's a good idea. Right.
That's a good grapey purple. Good purple.
Blurple. Crazy purple. Vorpal blade. My Vorpal blade.
Hey, Bri.
What
are you drinking?
I'm going with my lemongrass and gin combo.
Yeah, that's good for the B-Bell.
Love the lemongrass and gin.
It's good for the B-Bell.
Yep.
Good.
Right.
Right.
Is this working, by the way? Like, if I do this, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking. Because I noticed last week I had the microphone way behind me, and it sounded like I was talking in
a cavern. Yeah.
Cavern. Okay. Cool. Now,
I
can be heard.
You watched the replay?
I did while I was making the lunches for everybody for the following day. I put it on after it occurred.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was almost about to tell you.
But then I didn't.
I said, let it go.
Yeah, you sound great right now.
Yeah. Yeah, you sound good.
Speaking of sounding great, this coming Saturday, Black Cat Moan will be giving their first
VCM in the house. Yeah, VCM.
performance. First live performance since a while now. And that'll be at the venue of Merging Arts. So if you're in the Western Pennsylvania area, come to Johnstown at the venue of Merging Arts, where you can see Black Cat Moan, where I act like this guy on stage for a while. And we sing our originals. You can check us out at blackcatmoan.com to let you know what you're in for. I got some purple paraphernalia going on. So I need to go. When Ad Hoc comes back to converse with you, I'm going to get something to pour this vessel into before it goes into this vessel. BB, how have you been, my friend?
I've been good, dude. It was a long week, very tiring week. One of my clients that worked there is FedEx.
Mm-hmm.
And there was that shooting in Indianapolis at a FedEx facility on Thursday night. And
this happens a lot, doesn't it?
It happens a fair amount, yeah.
Yeah.
Although the stories coming out about that, dude.
There have been 50 shootings in the past 30 days. 50 mass shootings in America.
Yeah.
50 in 30 days. That's like more than one. That's crazy. I saw
that's almost 2 a day.
That's almost more than 1 a day.
It's like, right?
That's go America.
Go America. But yeah, killed 8 folks and hurt a number of other people. And
wow. For what purpose? Do they have a purpose anymore?
Well, he was a brony.
What does that mean? Oh, jabroni.
No, he was a big fan of My Little Pony. He was part of the My Little Pony brony culture.
That's a culture.
It's yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
the one year
Is
down
there
in
sex involved?
I
Is
don't
it
know.
sensationalized? Okay.
Oh my God! Hold on. Let me just interrupt this just to show you the awesomeness of this drink.
That's a good color, man.
It's
good.
so I put way too much
There
ice
we
in
go.
here, so I was only able to add 1 shot of gin with the 2 shots of the St. Elders, and it is delicious. Oh, and I only had enough to put 1 shot of seltzer, so it's hardly
Seltzer.
doesn't need it. It's just so sweet and delicious.
Sweet and delicious.
Like
This is awesome.
Like I am.
This is girl. This will get you girl drink drunk right here.
Nice.
Was that a Kids in the Hall thing? Girl drink drunk?
Yeah.
Kids in the Hall, right? Was it Kids in the Hall?
I'll pull it up.
Awesome. I'll be right back. I need to get some ice for my Luna.
Yeah, bro. Woo.
Woo.
You thought you scared me.
Woo.
You didn't.
Woo.
Big room box.
I'll pull that up too. Here goes girl drink drunk though. Oh, I'll just cue it up.
I didn't even see it.
Daddy drank. Once in every lifetime. Wrong thing.
Like this.
Ray, I guess you're wondering why I asked you here tonight.
How's the audio? Probably not too good, huh?
It sounded good. I heard it.
Well, the board had a little meeting today, and unless my eyes deceive me, I think I'm facing the new vice president in charge of distribution. Congratulations, Ray.
Thank you, Mr. Barnes.
Please, call me Russell. Let's celebrate with a drink.
Oh, I'm afraid I don't drink, Russ.
Grown man like you, Ray?
Well, I just never like the taste of alcohol.
Oh, come on, Ray. What about a chocolate choo-choo? It's a girl drink. Tastes like candy. Don't disappoint me, Ray.
Yeah.
Okay.
Invader Zim.
Sure, Russ. I'll have a chocolate choo-choo.
Great. I hate to drink alone. Can I have a chocolate choo-choo for my friend, please? And I'll have a scotch and soda. Hey, good soldier, huh, Ray? Another Tahitian tea for my friend, the vice president. And waitress, this time, no giggling.
What are you drinking? We did one of those before.
Heck yeah.
That's when we got kicked out of that club in Ocean City.
Will we need a fresh bib?
Insane club. Booze Arena.
Ray, are you okay? Is anything wrong?
No, I'm fine.
That's good acting.
I'm just gonna go get some paper clips.
Morning, ladies. Here, if anyone should need me.
Get in there, Ray.
I'm fine. I'm just looking for paper
Everything's all right. I found them.
Ray, Mr. Miller would like to see you.
Really? That's excellent. Let's get some more paper clips first.
More paper clips.
Russ, I hear you wanted to see me.
Have a seat, Ray.
Sure.
He has a Michael J.
Would you like a drink?
Fox
Yeah,
about him when he was younger here.
Strawberry Alley Cat, if you don't mind.
Hey, Ray, I don't think I know that one.
Well, it's really quite simple, Russ. You simply take 12 large strawberries chopped, 3 ounces of dark rum, and a
Good God.
splash of creme de menthe.
Coming.
Good dad.
And pour.
Here you go, Ray.
Thank you, Russ.
I'm sorry to have to tell you this, but you missed a whole week's work.
But I can explain.
No, Ray. No explanations necessary. You're drinking. It's got out of control. Let's face it, Ray, you're a girl drink drunk. We've got to let you go. But you know, Ray, I can't help feeling responsible for your condition. But then, I can't help not caring. It's who I am, and I refuse to apologize for it. Now get out of my office before you start throwing up little fruity things. Fine.
You know, you're not the only cardboard packaging company in town.
Yes, we are.
Oh? Oh, well.
Hey, mister. Here's your milkshake. Thanks for the ice cream.
Tastes like candy. It's a girl drink.
Nice.
Kids in the hall.
Here's a hard one.
Kids in the hall, everybody.
Great stuff.
Classic.
Gina. Hey, Gina. That's another great one where the brothers go crash that are just complete F ups, crash, always come to Gina, their sister's house. And the sister's played by Foley. I don't think she says a word the entire time, just
Yes.
and then does everything they ask for. You know, just it's hilarious. Gina, you know, we specifically need 8 ounces of whiskey in order to get specifically drunk. Something like that. It's just really funny. Hey, it's the story of the enabler, really.
Yeah.
An enabler's tale, cautionary tale.
So many good kids in the hall, man. There's so many. Let's see.
The
We got
directors.
Robbie versus Satan.
Oh, this manservant Hecubus.
Hecubus.
I don't know what this one was, but when he what was this dude's name that played he played a girl and it was so painful. This guy here.
From Brain Candy. That's McKenna, David McKenna or something like that. No, not David McKenna. It's
Do you remember
McCullough.
this episode?
McCullough.
McCullough.
That's
Yeah.
from the movie. That's
Oh,
from the
okay.
movie.
His girl was like
In the
I mean,
upper, go to the upper left there. I think is that
These are the
Armada?
Daves I know. These are the Daves I know.
Oh, here's Bobby versing. These are the
yeah.
days I know. And terriers are the greatest dog I know.
Yeah, where's that one?
Dave McCullough. I hardly know him.
These are the days.
I know.
Well, go do Bobby versus Satan, because I don't know if I'm familiar with that. That looks hilarious, though. By the way, for those of you out there, you are in the big room, and this is the kids in the hall. It was connected to the big room. I've seen some ghosts there a couple times.
Yeah, we used to watch a lot of this. And this is actually how the big room reboot started, which was the three of us getting together like in the old days, except in a virtual reality world that we all now live in.
Mm-hmm.
And we watch stuff on the big screen, which is now right there. And we hang out, which is like right here.
Right here.
And we watch, and then we watch together, and then we laugh together, and then we comment on it.
And then we do things with it.
We quote stuff, you know.
Sometimes
this is where the quotes come from, and where all the big room bucks come from.
Yes, indeed.
Yours truly into an early grave.
Of course not, dear.
I mean, I may not have a college degree or a beautiful wife or a talented kid, but I got my family.
Your family, dear.
Pass the salt, will you?
In a minute, I gotta do another set of 50. Bob, would you pass your father the salt? Do you really need so much salt?
Yes, I like flavor.
Hon, you know how your father loves his flavor. Pass him the salt.
All right. As soon as I do the other arm.
Pass the salt, family.
And after dinner, take out the garbage.
All right, I'll pick up the garbage.
When?
Soon.
Well, soon isn't marked on the clock, Bob.
If you're such a weightlifter, how come you can't lift some garbage?
Huh?
Huh?
I will.
All right, we'll take the garbage.
I am.
Have you got the garbage, Bob?
Yeah.
Bob, I think you forgot about that garbage. I don't think he took it.
Pass the food. I use too much salt.
My name is Bobby Terrence, and this is my story. Taking crap from my parents is my life, but excellence in the face of rock is my creed. I was rocking out in the garage one afternoon, experimenting with what I call sound shapes.
Young St. George.
Little did I realize that afternoon that fate had booked my services for the roughest task of my young life. The gig, defeat the devil.
Oh, yeah.
To what do I owe this pleasure?
Before the D did it.
Bobby Terrence, I have been listening to your music in hell. You are the strongest guitar player I have ever seen.
Oh, really?
Yes, I must defeat you before you form a band.
Well, then let's rock.
It is so
Armada.
good. So now let it be played. Nerf.
Take that back. That was hilarious.
Let's rock.
It is so written. So now let it be played. Nerf. Very crafty.
I decided to start with the holy trinity of rock.
You guys may recognize him. He went on to Saturday Night Live for a number of years.
I am the front man of evil.
David and Goliath. So too, Bobby and the devil. David had a stone, but I have a wah-wah pedal.
No.
Useless.
No, guitar mercy.
Smutty.
Bobby, I love you. Why don't you unplug your amp and let me kiss you?
No, I'm seeing someone.
You're looking at me, Bobby.
Bob? What? This is garbage, which you forgot to take out.
I'm gonna take out the garbage.
Fine, where should I put it then?
I don't know. Why don't you put it out by the garbage?
Fine. So you know where it is. Don't forget to take it out, mister.
I guess I just earned my place in rock and roll heaven by sending Satan back to rock and roll hell. Yeah.
Nice.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
You've died and gone to rock and roll hell. Bad on a rock. Hey, everybody, look who I found in the bottom of this bottle.
Crazy.
Genie Jafar.
Hello, Jafar.
Phoebe got a haircut.
Yes.
Here, you jib jab while I work
Phoebe
my bottom.
got a haircut. Yeah.
Come on in.
Phoebe got the haircut.
Phoebe got a haircut. What's Phoebe's plan to do with his head?
Plan is to grow into a 1970s Chinese martial arts bad guy. Want to grow the mustache out longer than the beard.
That sounds like a really good plan, and I gotta say, I don't feel like that's coming out of the blue. Like that feels very regular, very, very on course with everything else that you've done.
Evolution, right?
Correct. Yeah,
Right.
I'm pleased for you, but I'm not surprised.
I mentioned, I told T and Ad Hoc there, I've got a concept that once I can grow the mustache out far enough, I want to bring my tail from the back of my head around and braid it into my mustache.
I want to roll places with you when you do that, man.
What is going on? Feel a lot of that. You saw it right. You saw it right.
Believe it.
You got to double
these
believe.
are gonna grow. Are you gonna eventually gonna get braids in them?
Yeah, that's the hope. Yeah,
man, that's gonna take years, but that's awesome.
That's all I got. All I got is years. What?
All I got is years. Oh yeah. Yeah, you drink this one and I'll drink that one.
What are we drinking?
You
What
drink
kind of wine
this
is it?
one, I
What's
drink
the
that
wine?
one, and then we
Shiraz.
all get
Oh,
drunk together.
I'm a
It's purpley.
Shiraz fan, man.
It's
Look
good.
at that drink. Look at that drink, Jeannie Jafar.
Ooh, that's so pretty. Is it cranberries?
Blueberry Boner, it's called. And it's purple for Prince.
Yes, it is. That's beautiful. Dude, my principal that I work for is a huge Prince fan, and he wore a button-down purple dress shirt with a purple paisley tie today.
That's awesome. And this is the guy that called you into his office to tell you that people were complaining about you for.
No, that's his boss.
Okay, all right.
My direct boss is musically cool. He's often listening to like Prince and soul and like
Heavy
lots
D
of fun stuff.
And
Oh yeah.
But
how beautiful is this drink?
it's beautiful.
The beautiful. It's. Do you like the title of it?
The Blueberry Boner.
Blueberry Boner.
I don't like when you say it, but
Spooky when I say it's spooky like that?
it's not spooky.
Ask T to say
It's
it. Ask-
creepy.
Wait, ask T to say
Baby,
it. Ask T to say it.
baby, say blueberry boner.
Me?
Yeah.
Blueberry Boner.
I don't like the way he says it either.
That's because it's a reference from our childhood.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Nobody. Blueberry boner. No,
Well, it sounds better
No.
in a girl's voice, yeah.
in a girl voice.
Definitely
Well,
will.
Blueberry.
obviously.
And
boner.
I don't feel comfortable drinking this anymore now that I named it after a boner.
Well, don't be homophobic. It's fine.
Yeah.
Have
right.
yourself a good old blueberry boner. Cheers.
Yeah.
Eh.
Tongue's purple.
Just imagine it's coming from Jason Momoa. You'll be fine.
The
Yeah.
purple
Mm.
penis himself. That was his
Right.
alternate name.
I'm gonna step off and let the monk get back on.
No.
Happy Prince.
No.
He's
No.
like, no. He's like, I'm free.
Not before you tell us a story. Something really funny.
The High Hand of K-Rock, the bottle of wine company is Rabbit and Spaghetti, which is hilarious, and it makes me think of Spaced. Rabbits. Did you guys watch Spaced?
Rabbits.
Did either one of you ever watch Spaced? Ooh, you, Bryant, you would very
Adore
much
it.
get a giggle out of it.
Uh,
Do you know Simon Pegg?
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah.
Nick
Frost.
Frost?
Yeah.
That's what the first thing they ever did together. It was a TV show that they wrote and did. And they're like roommate. They're best friends. And Simon Pegg has like weird roommates, and then they get in little scenarios.
Yeah, I might have seen that episode.
You
something
would.
like that. Yeah.
They're very funny. They're very funny. And Nick Frost, the friend, plays this uber militant, like military based friend, where he's always like, 10-4, over and out, copy that. And he wrote that character himself. Like when Simon Pegg was writing the show, he was like, "Yeah, can I be in it?" And he was like, "Okay, you're my friend." And he's like, "Cool. Can I be a super militant person?" And he was
Who are
like,
these
"Yeah,
people? And is this what you're referring to?
yeah,
Simon
they're
Pegg?
very."
Let's do this.
I don't know them, but this guy kind of looks like
That's
Lars
Simon
Ulrich.
Pegg. You
That's
know,
Simon
you
Pegg.
Pegg. And
Shaun of the Dead.
remember
is
when I
dead
showed
if
you
he's
that?
not dead.
Remember when I showed you that? I shared it with the group that there's a BBC show that just came out, and it's the two actors from.
Can you guys hear us?
Can you hear us?
Yes. Yeah.
Doctor Who?
Doctor Who and
The other guy, he was in a bunch of stuff. He was actually in.
he was in a Twilight movie, and he
was in the. He was one of the werewolves in the.
and then Demons and Good Omens or something like that. Anyway, you'd recognize them if you saw them. They just did a show that they put out through the BBC called
Underworld. He was in.
It's
Underworld.
not spaced, but it is like that. It's and it's a Zoom chat. The entire thing is a Zoom chat where they are supposed to be in a play that gets canceled, and Simon Pegg and Nick Frost are. It's funny, and
Okay.
that's on
Highly
Hulu too.
recommend.
He was on that what was that zombie movie?
Yes, correct.
Correct.
That's
Yeah.
And Hot Fuzz.
Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz. Yeah, he's
Shaun of the Dead. Okay,
He-
yeah, that was
He
it.
went on to be in the Star Trek.
he plays Scotty now.
He does.
I don't care if you've saved up all your 50p's, okay? Take your pocket money and get out!
Phantom Menace sucked. You weren't there at the beginning. You don't know.
What a prick.
Jim, can I have a word with you in my office?
Yes.
Is this the first episode?
Yeah.
That's how they get set up.
Nice.
Have a seat, Tim. Twiglet?
Better not.
That not.
Like you once. Blonde hair. Scraggy little beard. Childlike ears. Full of beans and spunk. I let my principles get in the way sometimes. I punched a bloke in the face once for saying Hawk the Slayer was rubbish. Good for
Nice.
you. Yeah, thanks. That's not the point, Tim. The point is, I was defending the fantasy genre with terminal intensity, when what I should have said is, Dad, you're right. I'll try, and we'll discuss it later. The Phantom Menace was 18 months ago, Tim.
I know, Bilbo. Okay, it still hurts.
Bilbo.
That kid wanted a Jar Jar doll.
Kids like Jar Jar.
Why?
What about the Ewoks? They were rubbish. You don't complain about them.
Yeah, but Jar Jar Binks makes the Ewoks look like fucking Shaft.
I've had enough, Tim.
But Bilbo...
Look, I know how you feel, right? I really do. But this can't go on.
What are you trying to say, Bilbo?
I'm going to have to let you go.
Phew! I thought you were going to fire me then. I was like, phew. Look at that.
So
Nice.
check Spaced Out. I think
That's how
you'd enjoy
he
it.
gets into his flat and meets, and then
Meets his weirdo neighbors, and it's a really fun show. And what's
Heck,
the
yeah,
first
yeah.
thing I can tell
I like
before?
the Slayer reference.
right out of the gate.
There's tons of stuff like that too.
All right,
Nice.
now we need TK to select one of these. The monk, I mean, when I say.
Of course.
Barriers? That was good. Tammy.
Tammy,
This, but it looks painful.
are you gonna pop in?
Things I know.
I have a couple phone calls that I have to make
That's
to
right.
catch up with some peeps.
Salon 13 was
At
reaching
some
out.
Salon 13, Lucas, Lar. Love you guys.
Be safe.
Oh
out
yeah,
there.
yeah. Give us a Larlar update. We need the Larlar update. T,
Oh
tell
my
us.
gosh.
Wait, hold on.
We need the Larlar update. You didn't give us that.
Lauren.
What?
You have to
Yeah.
shut off. Or whatever it is. We're looping.
Yeah, I just muted him.
Okay.
Lauren's bridal shower was really, really lovely. She had like 50 some people there, and she was the consummate hostess with the mostest. She was just radiating confidence and like her most herself. She is getting more and more and more in touch with who she is presenting herself as, with zero fucks given and zero apologies. She's like, hello, I'm Lauren. I laugh how loud I want to. I cry as much as I want. I hug as hard as I want. And I want you to meet other people in my life. Come here. It was really awe-inspiring. Like, she was awesome. And she went around and like introduced all of the tables. Like, this is my this group, and this is my this group, and this is, these are who these people are. She did ask me to sit at her table with her as like chosen family, which was really awesome.
Honor.
And I was really honored to do that with her. And she, I'm so happy to have everybody here. She also pointed out her table called the Fun Girls table, at which one girl sat, Billy Z was sitting there, and she was like, and this right here is supposed to be my fun girl table. And you see, there aren't very many fun girls here. That's because all my fun girls had too much fun last night. Ha ha ha. Like, she was doing stand-up comedy. Like, she was on point.
She looked awesome from the
She
photos
looked
too.
amazing.
She has this
tight curl.
Tight curl,
and she's got like the two little pins
fro
on the
almost.
side and like swept bang and then another couple little
She's
pins.
wearing like a lace outfit.
Lace white dress.
Gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I saw some pictures and she reminded me a little bit of Bubby.
Oh, I can see that.
She reminded me of a young Bubby with the coif.
I can see that. Well, even her mouth and eyes are turning into that. Like it's
She had a blast.
Bubbage.
She ate, she drank mimosas. The game that she played was to do a Prince trivia, like a 10-question Prince trivia. And then John came up with the Star Wars trivia, and then we tallied the points, and then the top pickers got to go pick a basket. She opened presents, and everybody was just like so thankful. And she played music the entire time. She played reggae to get started, and it was a brunch situation. And then she moved into Prince songs, and she made when anybody was done with their quiz, they had to stand up to show that they were done with their first quiz. And then you stand up and Prince is playing. And so you got some people dancing and having a good, like, it was a very well hosted shower. It was the least square bridal shower I've ever been to, while still ticking all the boxes.
Wow.
It was great. She did a great job.
She turned it into more of a party instead of
definitely had a 2-hour party.
Right on.
We had a 2-hour
I have
party.
to be here.
Yep.
Cheers to Lar.
Cheers to Lar.
By the way, Lar is BB's youngest sister.
I just spoke to her today.
Following our series.
Yeah, I should talk with her today on the phone.
Yeah. So she did great, and she had a really nice time. She was super appreciative, and it was really beautiful.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for the update.
Cheers,
You
mate.
may go shower or bathe or whatever you're going to do now.
Yes, do this.
Yes.
You pulling a Jafar on my wife?
Is that what she does?
I'm going to go make some phone calls.
No, you must shower.
In the bath. You're going to get in the bathtub.
The way
usually you make phone calls from the bath or something. She's like, she's
Yeah,
usually like,
I
I'm going to take a bath. I'll be on later.
People in the bathtub.
By the way.
Oh, yeah. I have my funny story.
You want to have a seat?
No.
Okay.
So I told TK, I was like, hey, listen, on at the bridal shower, at some point I'm going to touch base with you so that you can say hey to Lauren. And he was like, yeah, that would be really cool. And I was like, cool. So like, I wanted to do it right when I first got there, but everybody was just like, as soon as they were coming in, they were just trying to like get with her. And then there's the eating, and then there's the games, and then there's the this. So finally at the end, when people were starting to sort of help clean up, and she's kind of in her like, yeah, oh, okay, I love you, bye. I pull TK up on Facebook Messenger, and I press a video call. And it rings for a few rings, and then it picks up, and he's in the bathtub.
Dig if you will, the picture.
He's like, hello. And I was like, oh, this is perfect. Hold on a second. And I go over to Lauren, and it's like, I was like, hey, Lauren, say hey to your brother. And I turn, and she's like, hey.
Did you have bubbles?
Just where it was covering, just over my nipples and my
Belly
bikini
button.
area.
Nothing below the belly button, though.
They don't make enough bubbles for that.
Oh. That was awesome. That was really awesome. Look at this thing. So phallic.
Bubbles.
Doves flying out your ass.
Yes, I'm crawling across the neon heart.
So yeah, that was like a really funny moment. Like,
Nice.
here's T. Lee in the tub saying hey, and he's like, "Love you, Lar."
So the gift that she didn't ask for gifts, but nevertheless,
oh yeah,
you'll dig this, BB. Speaking of Bubby, sorry, jeez, we gave her a painting that she had seen at our folks' house.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was a painting that was given to me by Terry to paint on back in the day because it was in storage. Do you want to tell the story? So like
it was a painting that was given to him by Anna, and he painted on it, and it was called Family Tree. And Janet had it in rotation at her house. And the one time that Laura was ever up at Jay's house, she walked in and it was in the
which was to return Prince gear because today's Prince Day. So
right,
it's one of the anniversaries of Prince. So that's his birth and his death. So so she was returning some gear that I loaned to her for Halloween.
Yeah. And by the way, I got to hang on to it now that I know my boss is a huge fan. I told him that we're going to dress up as Prince and Sheila E. for Halloween next year. And he's super stoked about that and does whatever I tell him. Because
Jafar.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what I told Lauren. That shirt was like $200. Like, I'm not kidding. Like that. Yeah, that shirt's really, really like you can't buy that shit anywhere. It's like fucking expensive as hell.
So
just take care of it.
I will take care of it. I better pull it out of that garbage bag.
Chocolate bin.
Garage.
Yeah, with the half-eaten candy bars.
With all the dog.
Yeah, it's purple. It's got the ruffles. I mean,
it's not half-eaten candy bars.
Anyway, so what was this? Oh, so Lauren walks into the house and like walks right past Janet and right up to the painting and was like, "That was hanging in my Bubby's house. That's a painting I grew up with, but TK is painted on it." And so when I told Jay that I was coming in for the bridal shower, she was like, "I want you to give her that painting from you guys and from us." And so we did. We gave it to her.
That's nice.
It was really cool because she got a whole bunch of hanging wall art, like Life's a Beach and like the Kaisers established 2021, like all kinds of really fun, like family, love, laugh, home kind of stuff. And I was like, oh man, like we got her this painting and
it's huge, right? It's really big. It's like
It's a nice size. And she's got like a ton of new wall art to hang. And she gets home from the shower and I'm driving home and she bings me a message. Great to see you again. I ordered a local lady to bake Prince inspired sugar cookies for her shower.
They were awesome.
Like guitars and ruffle shirts and stuff like that, and diamonds and
you did
pearls.
that? You did that? You did that?
Yeah, that's what I took as my gift to her. She didn't want anything, so I got her Prince cookies.
Clever.
So,
it made the picture list that she shared on Facebook.
Yes, those are them. So
and they got a lot of compliments. Those cookies got a lot of compliments from a lot of people.
Yeah. So she was like,
"What's the name of the baker? Give a plug."
Char's Creative Confections.
Nice.
I remember that.
Chard, SHRD.
Char, like short for Charlene.
CHAR.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she did a great job.
Yeah, she's like the local baker around here. She does everybody's cakes and stuff like that. Anywho,
Pittsburgh area.
Springdale here, our neighborhood.
Your little hood. Okay.
Our little hood. So anyway, Lauren sends a message like, "Cookies were delicious. Thanks so much for coming again, blah, blah, blah." I do like a response. And then the next thing she sends is a picture of that painting hanging on the wall. And she wrote, "First thing we hung up when we got home."
Nice.
And I was like,
it wasn't Life's a Beach.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
But you performed so much better than Kristen. What a great surrogate Kristen you are.
Oh, cheers. Thanks. And
I mean, that is part of the story.
I'm assuming she wasn't there, right?
She did not come. She was not invited.
Right.
Which was a perfectly rational choice to make. The way Lauren pitched it to me was, I'm looking to have a drama-free day filled with joy. I need family that represents love and support. Will you come be a sister?
Yeah.
100%. Like, thank you for letting me do that. That's amazing.
That's what's up.
And I did pull a little prank on Christy D. Laura got a ton of things that have the new last name on them.
Okay.
But Christy says to me at one point as we're like picking up the things, hand to K-Rock, everyone. She says, man, she sure did get a lot of stuff with the last name on it. And I said, yeah. And the irony is she isn't planning on taking the last name. And, you know, Christy is like this. And she's like, nuh-uh. And I was like,
Nice.
I'm sure she is. I'm just joking. I don't know. Nuh-uh. Nuh-uh.
The classic Johnstown shocked face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John Candy.
So ironic. She's not even planning on taking the last name. It's awkward.
Zinger.
Yeah.
You whammied her. You whammied her. Was she mad?
I did. I
whenever you
whammied
told her
her.
the truth?
She pulled a pretty awesome whammy at the.
Oh, I totally whammied. So then the other one that I whammied was on Monday. I got asked to join the soccer board because I'm a soccer mom now, and but they put me on. They told me they were going to put me in charge of uniforms and other apparel, and I said I'm just going to hear costumes and be okay with it. So
Right.
costumes, and the other guy that I'm with is like dismayed that I call them costumes. I'm like, okay.
Nice.
So we're at this big table at Permanis, and it's sort of like I'm like Jesus in Last Supper style, like I'm dead center with the rest of the table coming around me, the people. And there's this human being who exists in the soccer world who is starting to create like their own entity. And there's like rifts that are starting to happen in this tiny little neighborhood soccer crew that we've got going on. And sure enough, their name starts to get mentioned negatively. And there's like a little like small town table gossip that's going around. And I very casually turned to one of the other moms that's sitting next to me. And I was like, I got to tell you, it's really crazy for me because she was my maid of honor back in the day. And like, you guys are all talking about her now. And I'm like, ooh, it's so awkward. But oh, well. And the whole table, everyone's jaw drops. Everybody gets beat red. Moms, dads, the whole night. And they're all like, oh, she was your maid of honor? And I was like, no, you guys, absolutely not. But she could have been, and we live in a small town, so you all ought to shut up about talking about somebody in freaking Permani Brothers 2 miles from our houses. Like, this isn't going to travel back to her. Shut your faces. She could have been. She wasn't. But shut your faces. Like, be better than that. So I was just like, yeah, she was my maid of honor back in the day, and you guys are all talking about her. It's like real awkward. And they were all like, I'm just joking. Another beer, please. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I'm just trying to teach the people how to rise above. Good night, everyone.
Yeah.
Proud of you, Jafar.
Here's your purple
Jafar,
drink.
everybody.
Cheers to that. Great job.
Well done, Jafar. Well done.
All right.
Love you, goddess.
Love you, Dave.
All right, I'm gonna.
Hey, look at this view. How about that?
Oh, I like that.
Whoop, whoop.
Uta.
Uta, zuta, zoot.
You know what I feel like? The people that like were on the board of trustees on Shield when
whenever Nick Fury would talk to somebody, or
we need to like get our heads all the same size and then just do a dance like left, right. Let's do it all together.
Or this could be like the council that sentenced Zod to the Phantom Zone.
Samesies.
Right?
Yep. Yeah, they were creepier though.
Yeah, they were totally creepier.
They were awesome.
Zod.
Because they had like some big, like there was like strong contrast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's scary.
Kneel before Zod.
What you talking about, Wilson Phillips?
The Superman movie, the Christopher Reeves version.
Oh yeah, with the mirrors and the
very first one.
When he got sentenced to death, to get smashed in that mirror and flung out into.
You will bow down before me, Joel.
Yeah.
Both one day, you, Joel.
That actor, he was awesome. What else
And
did
then
he
your
do?
ass, Terrence Stamp.
Terrence Stamp. Why is my thing up? Hold on one second. It's telling me that my computer's about to shut off, and I have it plugged in. Hold on one second.
Did you watch, Bride? Did you watch the cartoon episode yet? That's on the Netflix produced, or is it not Netflix? Amazon produced Invincible.
No, I haven't watched it yet.
Why not?
I've been watching Falcon and Winter Soldier, and I just got the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That's the
that's a new one. That's a new
the
one.
Marvel show, Marvel. And then I binge watched an HBO documentary on QAnon.
Oh, really? There's a documentary on it already? Oh, what have you learned about the Cosmic Q? Share your knowledge with us. Share it now.
It was just fascinating seeing some of the people that got pulled into it, and the people.
John Travolta, I heard, became a member.
Did he?
No, he's in Scientology. He wouldn't give that up.
People that were behind it, people that built the platforms that Q primarily used to drop their information, and then just seeing the normal humans that got into it and were like, just losing their mind about the democratic satanic baby eating babies. They're raping babies. They're raping and eating babies.
That's what they're doing to stay young forever.
The one guy asked this Q follower, so what would you not believe? What would you not believe? And she says, I don't know. I can't think of anything I wouldn't believe. And he says, well, like, for example, like maybe not even Q related, but like you wouldn't believe, like, say, like the flat earther thing. Like you wouldn't believe that the earth is flat. And she goes, I don't know. Why wouldn't I? I mean, if it's been proven that that the people that are running this country are raping and eating babies, how do I know the world isn't flat? And I was like,
that is your leap connection.
You're not doing any favors there, man. You're not doing any favors for the cause there, because
the tree of knowledge has a shadow side. That's the anti-knowledge.
And then just video of people breaking down after the election, whenever after January 20th, when Biden actually got sworn in. Just Q believers just like breaking down. And
can we watch some of this? Could we pull some up? There has to be some YouTube clips on this, because I would I would be fascinated to see that.
I'm not sure, because it's an HBO thing.
They don't have like a trailer.
I don't know. Let me see.
Everything. I mean, there might be some bootleg video on YouTube, but
right.
In
the meantime, I try to hawk one. In the meantime. Oh, nice.
Hi, I'm Bruce McCullough. I'd like to tell you about the Daves I know.
Nice.
These are the Daves I know. 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 David Hoffner, he works in my dad's store. He's worked here for 12 years. He'll probably work here for more. These are the Daves I know. 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 Dave Gord, I've known since I was 6. In grade 8, he broke his leg, so we got drunk and sick. These are the Daves I know. 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 Some of them are Davids,
but most of us are Daves.
They all have their own hands, but they come from different moms. These are the Daves I know. 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 Dave Jadisky, man, this cat can swing. He weighs almost 50 pounds and he delivers my paper on time. These are the Daves I know. These are the Daves I know. These are the MC Squared. These are the Daves I know. Dave Capisano, I hardly know him. These are the Daves I know and know. These are the Daves I know. These are the Daves I know and know. These are the Daves I know.
We are the Daves he knows he knows. We are the Daves he knows. We are the Daves he knows he knows. We are the Daves he knows. Some of us are Daves, but most of us are Daves. We all have our own hands, but we come from different moms.
These are the Daves I know and know.
We are the Daves he knows.
No, these are the Daves.
These are the Daves.
So here, stop sharing your screen. Here's the trailer.
That was great. That was great. And now for an eerie interlude.
This is the trailer for the
3 million big room bucks. What's that from? And now for an eerie interlude.
I know that 'cause that's one of my favorite quotes.
Yes.
And now for an
I don't
eerie.
know.
You don't know? It's a
I said
classic.
3 million. I shouldn't say 3 million. How about 3?
No, that's a lot. 13,000.
13,000. Yeah, we could do that. I can handle that. 13,000. Everybody, big room bucks.
So this
Get
is
back
this is
here.
the, here's the
45
trailer.
seconds.
The trailer for Q Into the Storm.
Into the storm.
Anybody, I'll show them Q proofs. Say, look, talk me out of it. Have you heard of
the Q? The what?
QAnon?
There you go.
What had started in an online forum had crawled out from behind the screen to the seat of power, all with the help of a single letter.
And we're going to win big. You just watch.
In 2018, I set out to chart Q's origins.
I wrote the first part of 8chan while I was coming off of psychedelic mushrooms.
You can really find yourself falling down a hole trying to find out who Q is.
I'm pretty sure Q is a spin-off from Star Trek.
Q is whatever you want it to be. Sometimes they'll even think it's me.
I have a question. You're going through a possible list of who Q might be.
That's right. You're on the list.
Well, let's continue then.
Dangerous ideas. That's a scary idea.
People conspiracy theorize about things that they think are powerful.
What did we conspire against?
Followers try to discredit reporters because we're required to find out if it's true or not.
It seems like Q's gone mainstream.
They don't care about all the people dying. They're lunatics running the asylum.
You can't expect to get counterpunched.
We have to go. We need to move.
Game over.
This Q thing's just exponential growth.
I think people are worried it's going to be used to radicalize more people.
Do you think that that is warranted?
Too bad it's on HBO Max. But did they was that so the gist I got from that is that a few different people are kind of feel like they're contributing to the Q persona, but they don't really, they know that they're not, they weren't the origin
responsible.
There's a nobody admits who or what Q is, but basically it's just that there was a platform that was constructed by that dude in the wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
He built this platform called 8chan, which is what Q used to drop most of their things. And 8chan was kind of a version of Twitter or Reddit, but there were no rules as to what you could and couldn't post. You could post anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so then it wound up becoming a very radicalized website where the most popular boards were child porn or child porn or Nazis, that sort of thing. But the most popular board became this Q board. The board where Q dropped their
pronounced Q-Bert, actually.
Bert, actually, yeah.
Right.
And so it's just a group of people, and there's who owns the websites, who runs the websites, that sort of thing. Where did the domains go? And it's just this one guy, this one documentarian guy who's trying to track down and figure out who is actually Q. And then there's splits where the dude in the wheelchair like wanted to shut down the website he had created because he saw the child porn moving in and was like realized, oh, I've created something that is beyond what I can control. That it's I can't build a website as, hey, there's no laws, there's no rules here. You can post whatever you want to. Absolute freedom of speech. You can post whatever you want to here. And then tell them, oh no, the Nazis can't post. Yeah, we don't want Nazis here. So he wanted to shut it down, but by then the website and the domain had moved out of his hands to somebody else. So he couldn't shut it down. So then it started to, but it's 6 parts. It's 6 parts long.
Oh wow.
It's pretty interesting. It was a pretty fun binge.
I think that it makes the most sense to me that like it's just the irony that it's most likely some foreign entity like, Russia, right? That wants
Is
to.
that another fear tactic?
Yeah,
it's an outsider.
It's a divide and conquer tactic, and the Republicans totally are okay with it because they need that to win because they know that there's just as far as population goes, most people are registered as Democrats, so that's why the Republicans historically, the parties have changed identity for the past
30 years.
the last at least 30 years. I'd say 50 years. Probably.
Well, Reagan was Republican. He got all the popular vote in the 80s.
Okay.
So that's 40 years ago. Reagan beat Mondale in that 84 election where Mondale won one state. He won.
That was rigged.
Home state.
If they actually would have recounted the votes, we would have found out.
Right? That Mondale won in a landslide.
That actually, that it was actually it was a paper punch hole glitch. It was a pen glitch in the 80s, and all of the votes for Reagan were actually for Mondale. It was actually a flip.
Oddly that you say that pens
yes,
play a
teller.
big role in the Q world.
Oh, it really pens in the Q world, huh?
And it pens in the QAnon world because QAnon, the guy Q, frequently features very rare pens in his posts, like in his pictures.
Because it's mightier than the sword.
There's never any explanation given.
So wait a second. So are they actually trying to figure out who's putting the posts up?
In the documentary, they are, yeah.
Okay, so nobody actually still knows who the giant gremlin was.
The documentary ends
to end
with
all trolls.
The documentary ends with the guy running it, the documentarian, fairly convinced that he has shown everybody who Q is, although there's no solid proof. There's a point where somebody in an interview with him seems to slip up and says something, and the documentarian is like, and kind of looks at the camera like, did everybody hear that? Did everybody hear that? And it seems like, although there is never any solid, like, oh yeah, this was me. Yeah, there's never any admission. But so it's a well done little story. It's got it's got enough laughs where you can just go, holy shit, that person was crazy. Or just like I said at the end after Biden was inaugurated, there's people that like filmed themselves like honestly, legitimately, like crying and just begging, Trump, you have to come rescue us, you have to come save us, and like cry, like just like in tears, like I don't know what I'm gonna do, and you're like, wow. But it was really, I enjoyed it. It went by pretty quick. It was. I watched all of them between now and the last time we streamed. So.
Wow, yeah. Perception is reality.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting. Yeah, and and they talk a lot. The most of the main players have that kind of. You can tell some of the Some of them are clearly, in fact, all of them treat it as a game. You know, they're all like from the kid in the wheelchair. You know, he's got the brittle bone disease thing. You know, from him to that one dude that was kind of sitting cross-legged on the desk, to the slightly older guy with the mustache. You know, they're talking. All of them, you can tell at times when they're interviewing with the documentary guy, are like intentionally stating things in certain ways, and the guy in the wheelchair even says at one point, you know, where it looks like he might be going to prison for something that he did in the Philippines. But he gets out of there. He gets out of the Philippines before the charges are dropped against him. And the documentary guy says, "Okay, well, I guess it's the end then, right?" And the kid in the wheelchair goes, "No, that game's over. We're just playing a different game now."
There it is.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Wow.
definitely. So it was
that's the trickster, and that's the that's the coyote. That's the trickster. You know.
Yeah, it was interesting seeing a bunch of different odd personalities, and
some people just want to watch the world burn.
Yeah,
Master Wayne.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Burn it all.
A666.
The A666 was one of the originals. Just let it burn. Just go in there, light a fire, and get out before you hurt yourself.
So yeah, we understand. We were.
Oh, yeah.
I think we birthed the troll.
We were amongst the earliest trolls. I can guarantee that. Back in 84, 85, 85, 86, somewhere in that time frame.
Fascinating.
We were amongst the very, very early trolls
on Q-Link. So if any of you have any records of this, it would be fascinating to watch and not actually tie us to it.
Yeah, the old Quantum Link. Quantum
Link. That's what it stood for. Wow.
Quantum Link.
That was the future, all right.
And that was ultimately that Quantum Link was where what initially started me on my path to have the job that I have today.
Running the world.
Yeah, that's where I first started.
Frozen.
He froze.
He started talking about his power in the virtual matrix, and they shut him down.
You mentioned Quantum Link, and they were like, "Zip."
Was it? Oh no, A666 Quantum Link and his high-ranking position. They were like, "Do not divulge," and they froze him in his spot. He's actually being murdered by Black Ops right now, and we have the last still image.
I think they actually hit him with a real.
Oh, there he is.
Oh yeah,
the freeze ray. You got hit by the freeze ray there, by the way.
Yeah, I did. Hey, Alondra. Hello, Alondra.
Hello, Alondra.
Alondra
Viascan. Hi, I like that name.
It's a great name. That would be a name I would use in a Star Frontiers campaign.
Star Frontiers would be perfect. Gamma World, but more Star Frontiers. It had a little. That's an old role-playing game. About 8 years after Dungeons and Dragons dropped, I guess.
Mid to late mid 80s.
Yes, indeed.
Alondra Viascan.
Yes, indeed. Good to have you here in the big room in this global.
Yeah, coming from Facebook. It looks like you're here from Facebook.
Where are you from, Facebook, Alondra?
We don't know. We don't know the answer.
And by the way, if you don't know, Alondra, sometimes it snows in April. Just saying.
It does.
Just saying. It does.
Today.
This is the 5-year anniversary of the passing.
Cool is that a table book?
It is. I think you got this for me, actually. It's velvet, by the way.
I don't remember buying that for you.
That doesn't mean you didn't get it.
Doesn't mean I didn't. That's true.
Yeah.
Check that out.
It's pretty awesome. This
is the Life and Times of the P by Jason Draper, and it's a gorgeous book. It's really is. It is what era? 2008. It's the first edition. 2008. This is when he was still alive. But it's a Yeah, it's pretty good. Good stuff.
Mexico.
Beautiful.
I don't know what CD
Talk
is,
about
but
Madhouse.
I heard of Juarez.
You know.
Yeah.
Right on.
Huh. Huh.
By the way, I'm about
Me
to
llamo
pour
Alonso.
myself. You too?
You too? That's
I
our
see, I see.
That's the extent of our high school Spanish. That we know.
remembrance, yeah.
Sure.
You learn how to say your name and ask what your name is.
Spanish,
which we already
was the
know.
only, that was the only subject in high school that I didn't get all A's in.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it goes to show you that
just,
robots are fallible.
And my teacher was a cheater.
Cheater?
Yeah.
What? Come now. Teachers aren't cheaters.
Yeah, she put together she put together tests intentionally designed to fuck over students.
She sounds like she just liked to watch the world burn, Master Bruce.
Yeah, she was the one that put together the test of okay, here's a picture, and now I'm going to play a audio cassette. There's 20 pictures, and the audio cassette is going to say a word that will describe the picture. You circle Spanish or English. Those are the two options on every picture.
Okay.
And I was like, well, this is ridiculously easy because if I don't know the Spanish word, I know English. And she goes through the whole thing, and there was one word that I was like, oh, man, I'm not sure what that was, but I know it wasn't English. And I circle it, and she marks it wrong. And she goes, I go, what word was that? I don't think we've learned that word, because I didn't recognize it in English, but I couldn't remember learning it. She goes, oh, no, you haven't learned that word. That word's Russian. You should have written Russian down.
Oh.
And I was like, this isn't a philosophical think out of the box class. If I had known that we could write down whatever we wanted to,
I would have picked the Oompa Loompa and Pig Latin from the start.
I would have written down unknown. And then at the end, I would have put bullshit test.
Bullshitian.
Bullshitian?
Is that close enough to Bolshevik?
Yeah, right. Bastard. Pissed me off. I'm so upset about that.
I didn't notice.
I just realized it. 33 years later, I'm so pissed off about it.
Yeah.
Woo!
Your first B will do that to you.
Yeah, my first B.
Your first B. Everyone remembers their first bee sting.
It was the first bee that it was like first and only bee, and it was the bee that kept me from being the valedictorian of my class.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
No wonder you remember it in such painful ways.
Yeah, that's worth a lifetime of sting.
All right.
It makes you want to kind of lose all faith in the education system and go your own rogue Ronin way that you have with your life. You didn't go to college, like
BB. I went to part college, like a year and a half of college, and I was just like, I'm done.
I see the bullshit in this.
Yes, this is not.
This is a setup. You just want my money.
That's what you want out of me.
Someday an internet will be birthed, and I will become BB Rumble, master of the unseen realm.
Right.
And here we are.
Connecting
to Mexico, connecting to the UK, connecting to Romania, yeah, as well as Brooklyn. And Australia. You work for an Australian.
I did. I worked for an Australian. I worked with an Australian for a while. Visited, spent some time in New York City with him, and
which comes back to Prince. Tell your New York story with Prince.
Yeah, it was a not a direct meeting, but no, I think we already said that.
No habla español.
No habla español. No.
Pequeño.
Poquito.
Poco.
Like Paco.
Nada.
Nada. Lumpa. No.
Unfortunately.
But back in the day, several years ago, I was in New York City on a business trip, and I was with the company president, and we were meeting with, I can't remember what company it was now, but we were meeting with them at a club that the company president was a member of, and I want to say it was called the Norwood.
Not a dance club, but like a
No, like a private club,
like Eyes Wide Shut kind of thing.
And it was very interesting. It was an old building in New York, and
Nueva York.
Very difficult to get into, very tricky to get a wheelchair into. We had to go like down into the basement to then get up into the main floor. They had weird little wheelchair lifts and things like that, but we did it and it was fun. And while we're there, we're getting ready to meet with the company. It's a very interesting place. It's like there's one wall that's completely painted red, and the door is completely painted red, and the door is like pretty much there's no doorknob on this side, so you can't even tell there's a door there unless you know it's there, and then you reach where there's a little opening and open it, and there's just little weird things like that. And we're there talking, and the individual that's our host has come over and talking to us and asking if we want any drinks and stuff like that, and then he starts to explain, oh yeah, we have a lot of members, a lot of famous members, people that come by here, the one that swings by here most often is Prince, if you know Prince. And I was like, no way. And then he was like, yeah, every Prince will come by unannounced and just doesn't announce anything, just comes over. We'll sit down at the piano 2-3 hours and just play the piano for a night. And then he just gets up and leave. He never really talks to anybody. And we were like, no way. And we were like, yeah. And I was like, that's awesome.
Did Karen she go over and touch the seat?
She may have gone over to the
or is that just my mind? What I would have done?
What you would have done? Yeah.
Sniffed the piano chair.
Yeah,
Would
it's
I?
definitely.
Would I have? I would have touched it.
Oh, I'm sure you would have.
Yeah,
it's
I would have felt that.
It's the Norwood Club.
Energy.
The Norwood Club.
Norwood.
The Norwood Club is a private club located in the Chelsea neighborhood of Manhattan. It was founded in 2007 by Alan Lynn and Steve Rougi.
Oh, Alan Wynn. That's a music guy's name.
Is it? It could be.
There was a writer here, an arts writer by the name of Alice Wynn. She did the arts reviews for some gallery shows when I co-owned a gallery back in the day.
Okay.
Different. Vive la différence. But yeah, fascinating little. Again, if you don't know, this is the 5-year anniversary of the passing of Prince Rogers Nelson. And for those of you around the world, especially in Mexico, the irony is that it snowed today here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Quite a bit, actually. And Prince did write a song called Sometimes It Snows in April, which the story of the song is a character of Christopher Tracy, which he played in a film called Under a Cherry Moon. And it's about the passing of the opening line is Tracy died soon after a long fought civil war. And that's the opening line to the song. Prince died in April 5 years ago today. And again, this is not the another time it snowed in April, but this is the first time it snowed on the passing of the pentacle passing of Prince. Interesting.
Nice. Yeah.
Nothing is trivial.
Nothing is trivial. Did we ever answer the $13,000 question for anybody?
Prince Fractals. Oh, there he is. Hey, I know that guy.
Well,
that's Pablo Picasso. Dressed up as Gustav Klimt.
That's dressed up as Alan Lynn.
I'm sorry, flip that the other way. Yeah.
There's a door.
Awesome.
To be accepted in the club, you must prove your involvement with the creative arts and go through an extensive hour-long interview, which gets reported to the board of directors. Brad, did you have to do this?
No, we were able to go there because our company president's a member.
Wow.
How's he involved in the arts because of social media?
Photography. He does a lot of photography.
Wow.
Really?
800 membership joining fee and an annual fee of $2,200 a year.
I will
or
become a member
if you're under 30. Interesting.
I'm not under 30.
Interesting.
Right there, the picture right above where you're at. That's the room we were in, right there.
This one.
Yep, that's the room we were in. On the up to the right of that fireplace, there's a little nook that has a.
Is that the red wall?
We'll get there. We'll get there. There's a bunch of pictures here.
Yeah.
Wait, it has a nook and what?
And I think the picture down below shows it actually. Right there, see those windows over there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Those windows in that little table area. That's where we were seated.
This is where you were.
Yep, right there.
Awesome.
You can come. It opens at 10 a.m. Drinks with coworkers, quick breakfast. There's Wi-Fi. Man, some beautiful rooms, and there's the red room.
That's one. Yeah,
that looks like, of course.
Yeah, it does. The what's her face?
When Doves Cry kind of clown Prince face.
What's her name? The actress. She looks like Clara Bow. It's the album sleeve. It's in the When Doves Cry video. Yeah. That's awesome. Is that leather? Is that leather in front there?
Looks like it, yeah.
I mean, that's some sacred geometry going on there too. That's vortex math right there. Cool. Awesome. Huh.
Courtyard for members?
Yeah, I think that courtyard is where we had to enter through that courtyard, and then there's I think over there on the right, maybe that might be the stairs that go down to the basement. Over on the far right, like much of it. That we had to go down into the basement to then get to the elevator.
Pretty sweet, man.
That's awesome, BB.
Yeah, go down there. The stairs there. Yeah, right there.
Uh-huh.
See, yep. There's the stairs, and then on the right, that right behind that gate, that's you can kind of see behind the gate there. Those are stairs that go down, and there's a platform,
wheelchair,
like a wheelchair platform that you can get on and ride down on it.
Wow.
And that's where we were. We were there for about 2.5 hours. It was a classic New York. It was like 11:30 noon meeting. Had some martinis. Everybody shared some martinis and hung out. And
should have drank in Manhattan.
And I was thinking about it, but I couldn't pass up the. I did have a Manhattan in Manhattan, of course.
Nice, of course. That's awesome. Hey.
Hi, Mama. Clara Bow.
That's right, Clara Bow. Just like Clara Bow. Awesome.
Yeah, that was a great hangout time. It was one of my favorite client meetings when we were trying to get a new client, and it was just really.
That's an epic location. I mean, think of how much energy is there. As you were scrolling through, it was like, what they say, like $1 billion things, meetings happening there in the arts worlds.
Yeah.
The cool thing is for your boss, because he has meetings there, he can write off his entire bill. He can write off his membership.
Very good, yeah.
He has meetings there. I mean, that's why he has it, right? Is to take clients and impress people.
Yeah,
it's a win-win for the place because they get to preserve that cool space.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I've always loved about my company is that we're always trying to. We're very rarely looking to go, hey, let's meet in an office and talk. And we whenever a client is willing or whatever, we're like, hey, let's meet here, have lunch. Let's meet here, have drinks. Let's get you out of the office. And the one client we would meet with
in a Turkish bath.
They all worked in a building in New York City, the same building. We had multiple contracts with this company. They all worked in the same building for years. They never met each other in person until we brought them together. We all got them together for lunch. They worked in the same building, took the same elevators, would work there for year after year. None of them spoke to each other, even knew who each other was. And then we all got together for an afternoon and had lunch and drinks, and now they talk to each other like they're communicating together. So that's what I said.
Hey, you're that guy that farts in the elevator every morning.
That's me.
For the last 4 years. Yeah, that's me.
Yep. So it was a good time. It was a good time.
It's good. Yeah. Matchmaker.
Make me a match.
Very good.
Yeah, you work for a pretty cool company, man.
Yeah.
I give it up to your boss.
Life-changing.
For keeping it like that, It's awesome.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's awesome.
When did you start working? Pardon me. That was a weird yawn talk that didn't finish well. When did you start? For all of you out there, BB started working in the chat rooms. First time we ever heard the word chat room. Monitoring chat rooms on Q-Link or Quantum Link in the year 1988.
I was 16 when I first started it.
Wait a second. Are you serious? So you were still in high school?
Yeah.
When you started checking it out or being employed?
When I started, they gave me a free. Back then, they considered it volunteering, but in exchange for volunteering, they gave you what was called an overhead account. Because back in the day, if you were to be on Quantum Link, you had to spend. It was something like $5.60 per hour to be in the chat rooms or on the message boards.
I kind of remember this.
Yeah,
I remember this because that came into play when we would go on as the first roll of trolls, SA666. And you were like, I only have so much X amount of monetary thing.
Hours,
Huh? That's right.
Yeah, so I started out with you would volunteer time, and for every hour you volunteered, they gave you 2 hours of free time. Was how it originally started. That was like the first year or two. Then it transferred over to an overhead account, where as long as you volunteered, you had unlimited time on the service. Then Quantum Link shut down in 93.
Wow.
94. It shut down in 94. Almost a year to the day after Karen and I met each other. K-Rock and I met each other. Because we met each other on Quantum Link.
That's right. The hand of K-Rock and BB met on Quantum Link.
And
they were.
She was a moderator as well?
No, she was just a guest in one of the
jabber.
rooms I was monitoring.
Really?
Yeah, she was just a guest in there.
She paid $5.60 an hour to get me in the room?
Yeah.
Or she was a guest?
Yeah, no. She paid. She had an account.
And
do you recall the first
well, this is cutting edge. I mean, this is going back. This is going back like early modem, like
1600 baud, 1200 baud modem, 2800 baud modem, whatever it was.
Nobody even knows what baud is anymore.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a term that
no, it was
carried over.
That you had to have a local access phone number, or you couldn't even get on Quantum Link. You had to make a long distance call, and then pay long distance charges too.
That's right.
Yeah, there was you had to. And Johnstown had a freaking local dial-up number. We were like, all right, get on there. Yeah, but that was, and then it went away in 93. Or I don't want to say 94. Quantum Link went away, and Quantum Link is what evolved into AOL. Quantum Link was the forerunner of AOL.
That's amazing.
And
man,
you've got nailed.
Glad you weren't taught to invest and buy stock back then. But you couldn't buy that many shares. But I mean, holy shit,
Yeah.
I just recorded. I just want to mention this because I recorded a video last night. You know how I did a video for Sage that you guys are aware of? It was like me and some people commented like about my sunglasses. I'm like, they're actually prescription. They were just tinted. They're like, well, we can't see your eyes and you look unprofessional. I'm like, well, I'd rather come off authentic. I mean, it was just friends and family kind of thing. But I made a video last night I recorded that I'm going to be editing this week and put it up.
With no sunglasses?
No sunglasses, but I mean, it's these glasses. These are the ones that tint, but I did it indoors here, and it's going to be pretty cool, man. I used the green screen tee that I borrowed from you, and I shot it in front of that, and I keyed it. I used these, my lights, and I lit it very well, and I tested keying with it, and I'm going to be able to project, different things behind me, and I'm just standing like kind of from like my waist up is basically what you could see. But the video is, I titled it Investing in Startups and Why You Should Care. And it's going to be a video, what's called a video landing page in the marketing world. But the idea is that I could put all these like little commercial hooks out to like with all these hashtag keywords like startups, investing in startups, things like this. But like anybody that's interested, but the idea, the video, I think I wrote is pretty good, man. I hope you guys will like it. But the idea is that it explains why in basically I think like 10 minutes, like I go through really like the history of investing, and that like it starts off like if you could go back in time and have the chance to invest in Microsoft or Amazon, would you? Like, really, would you? Because I hear so many working class people fantasize about this, but yet the same people, so few of them even know how the stock market works. Now. And almost none of them, 9 out of 10 of them, never have made an investment and have never even thought about investing in a startup. So here you go, like, oh man, you hear all these people getting rich, like the secretary at Microsoft, she was just answering phones, but she became a multimillionaire. Why? Because you were gifted stocks if you're involved in a startup in the early days. But the truth of the matter is, prior to 2016, just 5 years ago, at the recording of this video, is what I say in the video. Just 5 years ago, you were prohibited from investing in startups due to your income. Now you wouldn't know this because you never even looked in. Yeah, but people fantasize about, oh, I wish I would have known. The fact is, you weren't allowed unless you were a millionaire, and this is true story. Unless you were a millionaire, or you could prove to the federal government, because it was a law prior to 2016, that you make $200,000 or more, and that you did so 3 years in a row. And unless that was you were excluded from investing in startups prior to 2016. So, part of the story, how the rich get richer and why the poor stay paycheck to paycheck, it's because of this. You trade your time for money. And then I go into have you ever heard of the cash flow quadrant that was introduced by Robert Kiyosaki in his 1997 book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad? Well, if you haven't, it's not your fault, because guess what? We weren't taught this in schools. You were taught to think like a worker. Mm-hmm. You weren't taught to think like an investor and leverage your time. As a worker, you trade your time and your experience for money on a 1-to-1 ratio. If you're not trading your time, you make no money. If you get sick, you're not making money. The difference there's a quadrant. It's like worker, self-employed, and then the third square is business owner. Now you have employees, so you can get sick, but the business is still going. Things are running. You got your little workers. And then the fourth quadrant is the investor level, where your money's making money for you, i.e. stock market. But that you were excluded from that just before up to 2016. This is pretty fascinating. And I go through all this, really quickly. And I say, this is why you should care, because the rules have changed and nobody talks about, you still don't talk about this in the working class. Everybody's heard the term stock market, buy low, sell high, right? Buy low, sell high. Okay. What does that mean?
Greed is good.
Well, technology is also advanced. So just a few months ago, you heard about a group on Reddit, a chat forum, people that got together and bandied their money together and said, hey, we're going to call ourselves Wall Street Bets, WSB. And they have this little cool dude with sunglasses. and they all pitched in money, and they took on banking institutions, and they made a hell of a ruckus just a few months ago. It's the power of the crowd, and and there is power, there is strength in numbers, you know. So there's a reason to pay attention to this, and you can invest in startups now, and you know, but it's like by the time things went public, by the things go make it to actual Wall Street, most companies have already been in existence for 5, 6, sometimes 10 years. So all the shares are picked over. By the time the public, the working class, gets a chance to buy them, like for Uber, for instance, it was already like it launched at $45 a share, which you can't buy. Who can have, you know, you can't buy a large volume of that. So anyway, you want to buy it for pennies. And so all the rich people,
the working
buy it
class,
pennies,
yeah.
and then they sell it to the suckers for $45. And they make, so by the time it goes public on Wall Street, the early investors, that's their exit. That's their exit. And they sell it to the working class. And they're like, yay, we get to be part of Wall Street. But it's like, it's a fascinating system that they have set up. So I made a video that kind of shines the light on that and says like why it's so awesome right now for people to have this opportunity, and why you should really consider, you know, investing in, you know, in Sage. Because like the door of opportunity, I always say, is like there's a saying that says opportunity waits for no one. My saying is, though, that the readiness is all, because I believe that a door of opportunity does open for everybody at some point in their life. But if you didn't do your due diligence to prepare for that opportunity, you won't be able to step through that door when it opens for you. It's the portal. It's the portal, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, you have to be ready. You have to be mentally prepared, and you have to have done your diligence, and then you can take advantage of that opportunity. So I'm like, if you're watching this video right now, you probably just learned something. If you learned something and you're wondering, oh, why isn't this common knowledge? Why haven't I heard of this before? The reason is because you were never told this, and you're just, you know, it was reserved for a different class of people. It was reserved for rich people. So, but now the game has changed, and you should really pay attention, because the opportunity, I'm telling you, like right now, if you invest in Sage, nothing's a guarantee, but the idea that you can buy a stock price in, you know, for pennies on the dollar, this is a much safer bet than investing in Uber was 10 years ago. When nobody knew what ride sharing was. So when we enter the market, which is, and I'm going to tell you, I tell you like what our roadmap is forward. It's very logical, and there's equity crowd sharing platforms right now, which means that common folk can own shares of a real startup, and we can crowdsource a startup. And this is going to be game changer. So I really hope this just really crushes. And I try to explain it to people because, yeah, thank you. I explained it to her already. But yeah, it's something that people don't understand. I'm like, even with the GoFundMe, it's like, okay, well, you know, I have to do a better job of explaining like what this money is going to be used for and whatnot, and why it's not a lot of money. You know, but yeah, I'm excited for getting on the crowd sharing platform. We just have to capture a few metrics, just basically show that we can sign up drivers and sign up riders. And then at that point, it's game on. We're going to be on a national platform where hundreds of thousands of drivers across the United States, and riders, of course, everybody, but the working class. This is like meant to empower the working class instead of just making a few millionaires, you know, even richer, which has been the case up to 2016, just 5 years ago. And still, it blows my mind. It's like 5 years later, but the majority of working class people that we all know, because we're still in this economic bracket, they don't invest. They you know, many of them have used Robinhood, you know, which is an app to do their first investing. And that just happened, really, a lot of them during the pandemic, myself included. Like that was the first time I ever traded stocks, was during 2020, you know. And that's how Nizam, my partner, made $50,000 overnight. And then, you know, subsequently grew it over the next 7 days. Yeah, he
Fascinating.
And he didn't take the money. And I was like, dude, take that money out of the take it off the table. So you're playing with house money. No. I need that leverage. And he, yeah. But you know, lessons.
Yes.
But
we fall down.
Startups, yeah, it's like there's a time quotient. People say, well, how's it different than just betting at a casino? Like with a casino, which you know, there's always the pressure. Like it's happening right then. But you know, and the game ends like really quickly. But with stocks, when you invest in a startup, like there's a time quotient. So
it's
played over years. So you want to like, that's like when I bought Bitcoin 5 years ago. I bought it thinking like that. I mean, I guess I didn't buy stock market shares until 2020, but in 2018, I bought Bitcoin, and the idea that I'm not touching that for 5 years because it's going to take that long for the systems to shift. And this year we saw huge movements in Bitcoin.
Huge,
and still,
huge cards.
And we see institutions recognizing it as a store of value. So that was a great validation for me as a you know, relatively early Bitcoin investor. But my story with Bitcoin is that by the time it was so hard to even figure out how to buy coins. Like I was hearing about it for weeks and maybe months. And then I was like, God, what is this? Or why do I keep hearing about this Bitcoin like online? Like, and then I was like, finally, like I looked it up and, you know, and I was overnight. It's like 12 hours. I just like literally 12 hours. I was reading everything I could about Bitcoin and trying to figure out, I love the idea and I wanted to support it, but I couldn't buy Bitcoin. It took me days. Like it took me like over a week, you know, because like it took me days just to figure out how to get my stuff in a platform. And then you got to connect it to your bank. They send like the couple pennies to your bank and you got to validate that. And that took days. And like by the time I was able to buy Bitcoin, the price shot up like $8,000. And I was like, son of a good, but I still bought it. And it was like, you know, it was like, I think I bought it at like $12,000 per coin. Now it's like $50,000 a coin. So it's still pretty good. But I think it'll still go. Hopefully it'll still go up. But in any case, yeah, the thing with cryptocurrencies, what that whole platform is, that trading platform, basically when, you know, if you talk about coins as a cryptocurrency, you have to look at it not as like you're buying tokens like coins. Think of it as you're buying shares in an early stage startup, because that's what all those technologies are. And there's hundreds of them, and some of them are. It's really strange. It's a strange world because, you know, some of them that you would just think are scams, like Dogecoin. Like I could have bought Dogecoin at like a penny, you know, 8 years ago. I knew about it and I was like, this is ridiculous. Like there's no technology behind it. It's just a name, you know. It's like buying a .com because it's a cool name and trying to hold on to the real estate and thinking, well, you know, somebody's going to want StreamYard, you know, so I'm going to buy StreamYard thinking that I'm going to get to sell that because eventually all the .coms are going to be sold out. And that's kind of the game that I see being played in crypto right now. It's like people are making all these tokens and these technologies. Like we have blockchain technology, but we don't have anything to even utilize it for. It's just a cool name. And like Dogecoin blew up, like it 30x'd. It's still selling for pretty cheap, but I mean, it's like 30 cents a share, but just like 3 years ago, it was a penny a share. So if you would have bought like whatever your investment is, it would have been 30x'd in 3 years. And that's the fundamental shift is that people don't realize is like, you could have bought, you know, if you would have bought 100 and it was times 30, that's $3,000. But if you would have bought $1,000 worth, yeah, it's a big risk, but you know, you can stand to lose 1,000. If you could stand to lose 1,000, it would have turned into $30,000 in 3 years. And there's nothing else that can do that. And so the cryptocurrency world really kind of was running in tandem against the whole New York Stock Exchange thing. And they weren't able to crush it. And I think it just got to the point in 2020 where they were like, you know what? If you can't beat them, join them. And there were some deals that were made. And I also invested in this company called I just made a really small, like $500 investment a couple years ago in a company called Start Engine, because I love their business model. And what it is, like they were one of the first ones to allow startups a platform to raise equity. So it's basically Kickstarter, but instead of like donating money and getting a hat or a t-shirt, you get actual shares in the company. And they did all the legal to make that possible. And then they started lobbying the FCC, the Federal Trade, the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission. And they did it like just last year. They announced, and I was on their mailing list because I was watching them, and they said, hey, you know, we got the go ahead to create our own trading platform. So basically what they got approved for was that if you invest in any startup on their platform, that after the vesting period, which is usually 2 years. So if you like whatever startup you invested in after the maturity date, because there's always a time quotient in which you're not allowed to trade your investment. You're not allowed to trade. So if you buy like whatever money you put in, there's a waiting period. You call it a waiting period before you can trade, but you can trade then on their platform. So it's basically like a New York Stock Exchange on Start Engine. And that's pretty huge. And I think that's really going to become big. And I think it's going to allow a lot of companies to follow suit to what I'm already doing with Sage in the rideshare industry. So I'm optimistic that, you know, we're slightly ahead of the curve, you know, with most other companies. And so we'll see, but it's slow moving. You know, all I can do is just one person, like, you know, doing so much ourselves. So many companies start off with two people in a garage, you know, and you have to pull on into like, what are you capable of doing? I mean, luckily, like I'm designing like our window stickers. That's what I did today. Like I designed these, you know, but with Sage on them, you know, and those are going out, and, you know, so marketing and stuff. So that stuff's actually coming into play. The videos, the fact that I can shoot videos and edit them, you know, is actually helpful. But yeah, man, that's hopefully this is all going to come to fruition in a couple months, but we'll see. You know, it's interesting. It's an interesting time we live in because
yes, it is. Be awake. Blessings.
I'm trying to build, bless you. I'm trying to build this. So we're trying to build this tech right now. And Nizomana is like, it's QR code that, so that we can so that every driver, we want to give them to the drivers, and then the drivers can, so that we can see what drivers are signing up riders, and then we can incentivize them and kind of gamify the process so that they can sign up riders.
The smart move.
We'll have all the metrics to do
that.
Yeah. And surprisingly, this technology does not exist. Like I couldn't believe it. Like we're looking all over, like thinking that it would be a cheap software as a service that we can kind of rent, you know, because we only need it for a couple months. And like, we can't find like where you sign up and have a QR code generated specifically for you, which is weird because QR codes have been around for like a decade now. But so we're actually having to build that tech, and then we could possibly, I guess, sell that to other startups that come after us that need this same type of technology because everything's metrics.
Find what's needed.
Data is the new gold. They always said that, you know, with Internet 3.0, data is the new gold. And I'm learning this in real time right now.
Correct. Building blocks in place.
Venture capitalists and angel investors. It's so weird to me because like data can be manipulated, and they know this, but at the same time, they want it. They still want it. And they still want you to capture, you know, so it's like, yeah, you're going to be honest with your data, but it's data when it comes to like surveys is only as good as the questions that are being asked, right? So you can kind of manipulate data. Like for instance, in elections, if you say, "Oh, we interviewed 100 people and all of them all of them support Trump's views," okay, but if you don't, as a viewer being told this, say, "Oh my God, 99 out of 100 support what he said," you can run with that, right? And so many people do. If they support Trump, that's all they need to know. That's like, give me that. Hey, 99 100. There was a survey. It was done on Fox News. 99 out of 100 people said it. Must be true. Okay, but you have to ask the next level of question, and this is how data can be manipulated. Is, well, the interview was conducted at a Trump rally, and we didn't ask anybody under the age of 30. Like everybody that we asked was 30 or older, right? Like, so it's like, this is how you manipulate statistics, is you skew the data that's going into that. And it's like, well, if you would have conducted that at a different location with 18-year-old kids, you would have totally different results. We're coming up on the time. So yeah, but it's like all these investors still want the data. So this is what we're having to produce right now. But we're going to produce it, of course, honestly, as we can and as transparently as we can. And I thank both of you guys, my bros. I mean, I know you guys would support me, but thanks for supporting this task, this vision.
It's a great idea. It's a brilliant idea. It needs to happen. I mean,
Yeah, man,
like
I
what's
hope
been
it helps
happening
a lot.
with the Uber, with Uber and Lyft, it's again, it's just another setup from the top. It's only a matter of time that somebody like Ad Hoc comes along and works, and Nizam, that they work in the system and see this really isn't set up for the people doing it. It's set up for the platform that they're buying it.
Yeah.
And so what Sage is going to do, it's putting all of this back into the workers that are investing themselves in the motion of the ride share, those people putting their hours and their lives in their automobiles on the line, so that power gets to those people that are actually invested in it, instead of the people that are using these platforms, giving their money to the 1% that are running it and getting their lives, putting their lives in the hand of somebody that is only doing it for that week.
Yeah, we're like the keyword
and getting in an unsafe environment, unsafe car, unsafe wheels, unsafe engine, unsafe human being driving, et cetera, et cetera. What Sage is going to do is the professional ride sharers will have their own platform to put their excellence and know-how of using that technology to be the perfect ride share, going to give their skills, giving the access to the people wanting those skills in the ride share form. That's what Sage is going to do.
Yeah, it's what I call meritocracy. So those who do the work should get the most of the money, not the middleman.
I think that's what it's called, a meritocracy. Not necessarily that you call it that. That's just what it is.
In that too.
America. Not a
meritology.
Meritology.
I say a meritology.
So yeah, man, it's everything's logical. It's just presenting it and trying to like educate people, And I was telling his almost like, he's like, why hasn't this GoFundMe made so much more money? I'm like, dude, first of all, like, it just doesn't, like, marketing doesn't work that way. And you have to realize that, like, I'm from a working class family, like, and that's why I was like, we weren't trained to think like investors. Like, we're going to have much better results when we get to people. Like, if we can run a commercial in front of Wall Street Bets crowd that's already thinking, like, they already figured out.
If you have a rich dad, poor dad, come back. Love you. See you next Wednesday, or
something too.
Wizard Man, summons from across the pond. Rev. Wizard Man!
Oh, Wizard Man!
Summons from the frozen land! Triggering signal!
What are you doing? Go home. What are you doing?
Rev has a new job, remember?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
he said it might be a few weeks before he settles into a rhythm and a pattern where he can
Stay up late.
Stay up late and be here regularly. Yeah.
Yes. For those of you, the Rev from the UK, Scotland, and Manchester, England.
D-Man. Is that the D-Man? Is that the real D-Man?
What? The original Hoochie Coochie Man, D-Mob, on board. What do you know about that? I can dig it. For those of you out there watching, has the Elon Musk weed smoking face on the regular
clip. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I posted that. It's like, it's funny because I'm like, he's got that frowny face. It's like
the riggedy sizzle weed smoking. Okay, let me jump back. So D-Mob there, who is the proprietor of the venue of Merging Arts in Johnstown, will be hosting the return of the Moan. That's right. Thanks to Dennis Michael, Black Cat Moan will be performing live for the first time in 2021 because we're all starting to get our Mojo juice injected into our arms.
Yeah.
Mojo juice.
But
yes, so if you're in Pennsylvania, Western Pennsylvania, come to the VOMA venue of Merging Arts.
People can we
out.
let in though as an indoor event?
Well, we're shooting for outside. We're shooting for an outside event, and then we will adapt as such. I'm just going to leave it at that. But yeah, so right on. Good to have you, D-Mob. Good to have you, D-Mob. Yeah. Thanks. Welcome to the after party.
D-Man, how many people can we host if it's an indoor event at
Let's not talk about that right now.
I want to know. What
yeah.
Do ya?
Let's not make it digitized right now, shall we?
What if the answer is none?
500.
500 nuns.
500 nuns.
If you have 500 nuns, the religiosity, the religiousness of it will have as many people as you want.
Yeah.
450 can attend. What number do you have? That's what it's going to be.
Nuns. So yeah, let's not worry about that right now publicly. But
all right.
Happy 5-year to the Paisley movement.
Word.
I'm just trying to change it.
Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to. No, I'm gonna be there. I think Nizam's coming. Actually, I'm not
right
sure.
on. I was wondering, ad hoc, are you running sound that evening?
Yeah, I mean, I already. I got a call from Mom asking me that.
Excellent.
But then he called me like 2 days before she called.
So you are
talked about this. So
awesome. That's great.
Yeah. And there's a new guy living in Cambria City that runs. He's a sound guy. He just moved to Cambria City, and I was there last time. He was walking up the street, and
with a sound system
with
on
a sound book,
with a boombox. I was like, hey, I run sound.
Denny
Sorry.
knew him somehow, and he's like, yeah, but he's run sound at like the Brown Hotel and several other places, the Indiana, the big venue in Indiana, PA, the Palace Theater.
That's Greensburg, I believe. Palace. That's where we open up for Buddy Guy.
Okay, it wasn't the Palace. It's somewhere in Indiana. I know
Indiana has big venues. Yeah,
might have run at the Palace Theater.
IUP is there.
But in any case, I was like, okay, this guy knows what he's doing, and so he's probably gonna stop by on Saturday, and hopefully I'll be able to show him, what we have, and hopefully, we'll get some new people doing things. I said
that's great.
New blood.
New blood. Yeah, I was like, hey man, and he said he has done some promoting before as well. He's put on some shows, and I said, well, the only thing with Voma right now is that it can only go till 11. Just like in Spinal Tap, it goes to 11 is a good thing.
It's a good thing, right?
Voma going to 11 is.
Well, you know what? The thing is, it's all how you play it. If you can link up with the after party, then going like at dinner, because Voma, when things are flowing in the past and when it gets flowing again, they do have an open kitchen. So you go there for your dinner and a show. Yeah. And then because it shuts down at 10:30, 11, then you go to the next gig. And that's when you start linking gigs.
Yeah, it's like we don't get the kid crowd at Voma, but when you're an adult, like if you have kids,
I'm an adult.
Yeah, you get to, you're ready. Like at 10:30, 11, you're like, I'm ready to go home anyway. So
there's a place, there's a huge club, an awesome club here in Pittsburgh called Spirit, and actually Jafar saw the Black Pumas play there before, they played in the White House.
Wow.
Yeah. Nevertheless, they host a DJ night called In Bed by 10, and it starts at 6 and it's done at 10, and it gets the exact crowd you're talking about, and towards the end of the evening, the younger crowd comes in that start their night at 10, but nevertheless, it's In Bed by 10, and they play a lot of throwback music mixed in. So it's a great time.
Yeah, it's just that's right. So,
but I remember when we first started going to Riggedy Sizzle hosted a night at Dively's every Wednesday night, the middle of the week, and it would start at 10 p.m. and go to 2 a.m. And that is a very select lifestyle that gets to do that,
Yeah.
And there was a time in our lives where we were able to do that. And that's actually what got me on stage, is having the ability to be available, be put, to be on a Wednesday night starting at 10 o'clock. And to be honest with you, sometimes it didn't start till 10:45.
Oh, yeah.
Everything else started earlier. But nevertheless, the host started on stage at 10:45. Riggedy Sizzle!
Shout out to Riggedy Sizzle.
Riggedy Sizzle. But I tell you this, a lot of amazing musicians got their start there.
Yeah. I was listening to some today. I posted, on my Facebook something that I did in 2020 as a nod to Prince, and then with it's on SoundCloud, and with SoundCloud they have this thing like if you listen to it on your phone, it's like it doesn't shut off. It's really like it's hard to stop the music. It'll just keep playing your playlist. So I was like, I listened to it on there, and then it just played the next song. I was like, oh, cool. I haven't heard that in a while, and then I haven't heard this in a while. And it went to like some old Dave D Christmas time stuff.
Oh wow!
And, simply having a wonderful Christmas time.
Yeah,
and, I was like, man, that was cool. It was cool to listen to that, like, outside of Christmas, and just listen to the production value. And then there was some stuff with like Garmin on there, Justin Garmin, and his voice was sounding really good. All around
Halloween.
the world in Christmas time. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
Let's say
right.
a prayer
Yeah, we
for
did
the other one.
Feed the World. That's
He
right, we
had,
did
yeah,
that.
he had to Feed the World, like a bunch of musicians on there, and he did a really great job. Riggedy Sizzle did a great job at producing that, and I enjoyed listening to
Back
that.
before that software was really available. Unmasked quantities. I mean, it's like it wasn't as easy as it is now to have a laptop and have
Yeah,
everything
it's
in
always
there.
getting easier. It's always getting easier. That's true.
It's great.
But I mean, yeah, to have it sound good, it's I don't know. It's always tricky, But he did a really good, really solid
To
job.
rock around it. You know, right now, my lads, if you would say it's tricky, they would be on it.
Boom.
It's tricky. They'd be like, it's tricky, 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 tricky. Hoo! Yeah, that's a big one in our house.
Nice.
You say,
what are they into?
Well,
they know basketball
it's
by
tricky
Curtis
to
Blow.
rock around. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, they do. Yep.
I mean,
because I'm here. You say if you say, well, I have it here, and Fen will be like, I'm here and I'm there. I'm Jib Jab Fen and I'm everywhere. That's what Sugar Hill Gang, because I'm here and I'm there.
So how do they get all this? You have a like an old school hip hop playlist that you listen to on Amazon setup, or what?
They have me as their dad every goddamn day. That's how.
That's true. Every day.
Every day there's something coming into play that's connecting them to the Akashic records of funk.
Oh,
Can
man,
you
that's
dig
a
it?
good name for a record label, the Akashic Records of Funk. Akashic Records. Yeah.
Yeah. There's something special
Good record label.
tonight. By the way, okay, so we all know that B, the B of our firstborn comes from BB, Biggie B. He goes by now.
Nice.
Yeah, Biggie B. He he's an alpha and leads his soccer team and leads his academic squad and plays trumpet like to be Dizzy and Miles and of course Louis. And then there's Fen, the P. He goes by Fenino. Fenino is the drummer. He's the Stuart Copeland. He's the artist. He's the lover. He's ticklish and the comedian, right? Well, so for years now, Biggie B has had his academic and his structure, of soccer and trumpet class and all this. And today was Fenino's first day at parkour.
Oh,
class.
interesting.
So Fenino, from a very early age, I have a video where I think Fenino is like maybe turning 3, and it's in one of those domes. Sorry, it's in one of those domes at our playground, local playground. And Biggie B, who's 22 months older, Fenino, who's turning 3, drops into the center of the dome. It's like, this is all you have to do, B. And he drops into the center and then climbs down inside of the geodesic climbing dome, the monkey dome, And so he's always been a very natural climber. He falls down a lot with his feet, but he climbs like a mother. So we have one of those in our yards now. And we have, thanks to Uncle Ad Hoc, he got this really awesome, it's like a zip line thing that has all these like hangy bits. So
yeah,
it's like
because
this
for
ninja.
like 50 feet of like zip line above and beyond, above and below. So
As
you can
above,
walk
so
the
below.
tightrope, or like, and then you attach different things onto it, like a ladder and some hanging rings and some different things. So they've
So
been.
that's Fenino's monkey world. He got the monk of the monkey, and now today was his first day in his parkour class.
Yeah.
So it's his tribe of like the flipping through the streets, monkey outcasts. This mother, word to this mother.
Word to this mother.
So anyway, yeah, very interesting day. It was very
Yeah.
cool. And he came back energized.
Hey, you gotta get Fenino there to watch Dark Crystal a bit and get him a new nickname, because he should totally be Phenom.
Phenom.
Yeah, Phenom.
Phenomenal.
That's
We've
right,
talked
yeah.
about that. And what's the other one? Phenomenal. Call him Phenomenal. What's the other one?
Trinomical?
Trinomical and Phenonomical. Yeah. You got a couple great nicknames. But yeah, no, he knows about the Dark Crystal. He hasn't watched it yet. We just tell him that it's coming.
Cool.
Right.
Last movie night, Biggie B, wanted to watch The Princess Bride.
Nice.
And Finino wanted to watch the next Civil War, Captain America Civil War.
Yeah.
And they were fighting all day, like, no, this is movie night. This is this. And we're like, well, we can split it. So Jafar watched Princess Bride again with Biggie B, and I got to see Civil War, again with Finino. Now, very good, exactly. And Janet climbing like a mother, right? Got it. So D Mob and Janet Michael there. When we first relocated to Hershey, Pennsylvania, and we would have movie night as well, and we would have to go and rent a VCR. We'd go to your we would rent a VCR and a video with it. Yep, and one of the two. Yep, there were 3 that we would rent periodically to watch again and again. Princess Bride. Yes. FX.
Oh yeah, with Dennehy.
Okay.
Right, Brian Dennehy's in it, and that other English actor who's in it.
English actor. Yes, it's excellent.
Yeah.
And very fun and excellent. And the third one was Young Sherlock Holmes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Steven Spielberg, right?
Yes, indeed. The first real big push into CGI.
Yeah, one of the early and to this day, I think still fairly strong. On the CGI, the glass, the stained glass part, I still think is pretty strong to this day.
It does hold up. I just watched a video of it, and I showed it to the lads because they're very interested in that, and so they're very well aware of course, The Princess Bride, but Young Sherlock Holmes as well. They watched that earliest CGI hookup. Yep.
Have you watched any of the Cumberbatch Sherlock Holmes?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's how I first heard his name. Yeah, excellent. And the Moriarty is
he's a great Moriarty.
A CC Underground and Swing Kids. Oh, what's a CC Underground? Swing Kids. That's the first Christian Bale push was Swing Kids. Or the Batman. Of course, the best Batman, if you ask me. Christian Bale.
I just watched I just watched a documentary called The Last Blockbuster.
The Last what?
The Last Blockbuster.
Okay.
Which is about the Blockbuster movie chain, about the video rental stuff.
Oh, yes. Renting VHS tapes.
Yeah, very interesting. And then they talked to a lot of people, including Kevin Smith, Silent Bob. And a number of other folks. But it's an interesting story about the whole, the collapse of that how
the empire. It was a huge empire.
They were, they just
and this is interesting because we mentioned AOL and the start of AOL all in this episode as well.
Yeah,
which is fallen empire after fallen empire of tech.
Yep. And now there is one remaining Blockbuster store in the world.
Wow, fascinating.
Located
really, there's still one left.
There's one left in the city of Bend, Oregon.
Bend over.
Yeah,
Bend over again and again.
How did they just somehow?
It was an independently owned Blockbuster, and they have a contract with the company that has the Blockbuster rights, and every year they have to renew their rights with the controlling company. And,
man, I hope they get to pay less.
I don't know what the deal is yet, but they're still open. They still rent DVDs and game, and it's still the same.
Yeah, because I mean, I think the idea would be like if you were a part of a franchise operation where you were individually own something. The idea is like it's like paying dues, right? So like, hey, we can run an advertising campaign that's national, but if everybody chips in, we can crowdsource this. They would, it's kind of early crowdsourcing, again, like for people that that can own shit, and it's like.
Crowdsurfing for people that own shit.
Now that they can't, they're not doing any advertising. I hope that their dues went down significantly.
Yeah,
I can imagine
it's a one-off documentary. It's like an hour and 20 minutes, and it's just interesting to see, this family that keeps this blockbuster alive in this odd little town in Oregon that is still like it's like. I can't remember. It's not a tiny town. It's like 60,000 people. I think not a big town. Not huge.
Like Johnstown.
Oh yeah,
Johnstown's like 20,000 now. I think.
Yeah, but if you take Johnstown and the surrounding areas, it's more like around 60,000 total. If you include, Windber,
the Wimbers,
Windber and Richland and all that, but it's around that size. But the whole town is. Like they still do their movie nights, and they go to the local video store.
Right.
They rent their local videos.
It was very fun. It was a fun experience.
Everyone in the documentary talks about it and talks about that the
getting in the
blue,
car,
the blue and the yellow at the Blockbuster, and and you walked in, it kind of smelled like buttered popcorn, but you weren't sure why.
But you
it smelled like buttered popcorn.
And
you get to walk down the aisles and like decide and pick. It was an event, it kind of made an event.
Yeah, you can come and you can see movies that you never heard of before, or
different process than looking
and again
individually at a list and going, let's try this one, which is
again, it's one of the last eras of the tangible art. Where you get to hold the art, and that's what drew you to the movie, to want to read the back of it and see little clips,
the VCR jacket, and then the DVD jackets.
But they talk about it really interesting about like what made Blockbuster huge was that pre-Blockbuster, and I just barely remember this time existence in America, but pre-Blockbuster. It was virtually impossible to buy a movie on video cassette. Like when the original Terminator, when Terminator first came out, it was in the theater, so that would have been like 1984. When the first Terminator came out, it was in the theaters. When it came out on video cassette, on VHS, it cost $99 to buy.
Wow.
You had to spend $99 to buy the VHS version of Terminator.
Right.
And so you would get video stores that were doing rentals, but they were all local little mom and pop
to
stores.
Pay off their $99 fee.
Right. So they're mom and pop stores, but they couldn't buy more than 2 or 3 Terminator movies.
Right.
Because they had a budget back then. And back in 1984, $300 wasn't like a small sum,
right?
It was like, hey, we have to keep this thing alive. So they would buy their 3 versions of Terminator.
Yeah,
and
our
then
inflation has definitely 4x'd.
Oh, and then you'd have to pay, you'd have to pay X amount just to rent it. And
just a couple
and then it wound up being a very negative business model because you'd go to the store. Oh, I want to get the new Terminator. And they're all rented out because they've only got 3 versions. And Blockbuster was the first corporate that made deals that made the deals with the movie studios directly, and said, hey, we don't want to buy 2 or 3 Terminators from you. We want to buy 100. we want to buy 100 denominators from you.
For one location.
Right. We want to buy 1,000 we want to buy 10,000 from you. What kind of deal could you give us on this? And then, in addition to being able to get, a better price so that it wasn't $99, now they could get it for $40 per copy. But they were also able to go, everyone knew. If you go to Blockbuster, odds are it's not going to be sold out. They're going to have a copy of it.
Right.
And that's what they went up to, at one point, over 9,000 outlets in the world, or there were over 9,000 Blockbuster outlets in the world.
Fascinating.
Yeah. It was pretty interesting.
Again, it's you see the woe, you hear the woes, and you come up with a solution. And right now, there's so much technology and people that are connected that you have companies like Sage popping up that hear the woes of the driver, and you hear this, and you're able to you hear the woes of the stock market, and again, that's actually hugely fascinating to me that it was only 2016 that people can purchase.
Yeah. Right. Unless you were part like an employee of the company, like you would have to be an employee of Amazon or Microsoft, and then they could put that in a package like, hey, we're going to pay you, plus you have the ability to buy shares at the going price that we're selling it to early investors, which is oftentimes like, just literally pennies. And so that's an investment opportunity for the employee. And but if you're not an employee, yes, then you got to be.
Right now, that's all changed. So
$1 million.
Become savvy, and startups is the new best buying.
Yeah, that's been disrupted in 2016, and people don't know about it. Like
now they're learning about it now.
Yeah, like so it's so
here in the big room.
We're gonna help spread that that knowledge. But as I was like telling this, almost like you realize that like I know it's been 5 years since 2016, but the reality is that we were walking around a ball field over here at Green Tree Park, and there's 4 baseball fields going on, and there's literally hundreds of people. There's like 4 baseball fields, and all of them are being played. There's a soccer field, and like there's all the parents and all the kids, and I'm like, I guarantee you that probably 9.5 out of 10 out of these people, right, like 95% easily, have never made any investment in the stock market. They don't know. They know what the stock market is, but they've never made an investment. They know nothing about it. They don't know how it works. And that's the reality still today, even though this changed.
So that's the big boom. If you find a way to educate
we have to educate,
get that information out there, and then you link Sage
that was
to that.
That was the conversation. It's like we need to actually create like video, and that's why I created this video. Is like,
create the video with it. Actually, and it's not a bad idea to go back to the beginning. You think that the days of the flyer has passed, but in Middle America, that's exactly like, although it's passed in cities, like handing out flyers for your art show, for your any artistic event going out. That's what we used to do. We would make photocopies and go to all the coffee houses and everything, and you would just flyer. You would flyer. That's what you did, and that's how Jafar made it to Scotland, as by flyering for at the Edinburgh festival fringe. But nevertheless, maybe that's something to consider, ad hoc, is that you were standing in this baseball field, which we're soccer parents now, and I see all these parents there, and you need to go back to that mentality. It's not in the city, it's passé. You don't do it anymore. But in Middle America, where the same people that say, oh, if I would have only had stock in Microsoft, if I had only had stock in Apple, I wouldn't be changing people's oil in a back alley for $20. That got really weird for a moment there. But nevertheless, but again, it's information is king. And so go
I
to these
wouldn't be
places.
tossing salad for people in an alley.
I wouldn't be tossing salads behind Salad King.
BJ's under the bridge would be a thing of the past.
That's it.
No more of that.
They wouldn't call me the
No more of
BJ
that.
King behind the Burger King.
Yeah.
Burger
So
King.
the QR code technology that we're actually developing, which is again like are you seriously,
Again,
like,
find the missing with the link and fill it.
you could put it on a flyer, and then now the phone technology is like it's being built into phones right into the picture thing. Because like before, people were like, I got to download an app so I could scan a QR code. I'm not going to do that. So
Right.
like Samsung and Apple are now just like somehow they worked it in. So now QR codes, it's like literally, I knew about QR codes easily 5-6 years ago. Easily, like, you know what I mean? Like first time I heard of QR codes, I guarantee it was 6 years ago. It's taken that long for it to become like,
right.
So we're old enough to see that
The law of doubling in time and just information and so on and so on and so
yeah,
on.
like if you're on the cutting edge of like you're somebody who's an information seeker.
Mm-hmm.
The reality is that you're probably in the 2%.
Well, that's the creative class. The creative class are information
means that
seekers.
You're seeking an information, and then like most people don't, and so you're gonna. I learn about like with this tech stuff because I'm a little bit of a techie geek. I guess I am because I knew about stuff 6 years ago, 6 years before other people. Now, could I leverage it? No. And it's like the same thing like with blockchain. Like I learned about blockchain a few years ago, but you know, it's still figuring out, like you hear so many people, very, very smarter, way smarter people than me saying that this is internet 3.0 and it's going to be as big as like Google or internet, anything internet was. This is going to like blockchain is going to open up. It's going to change everything. Every industry that you know about will be disrupted. And so I'm thinking of like, how's that possible? But one of the ways that I'm trying to disrupt the rideshare industry is just recognizing that there be a myth. They're overextended, and I may not have a stone as my David, but I got. What did he say in that video clip we watched earlier?
I can't remember, but that was it. Something like that. Yeah.
I got my. It was a guitar pick, was it? Yeah.
Something. Oh, it's so funny.
But I mean, yeah. But so it's crowdsourcing. That's the way. That's
Right.
what I see. Is that
That's it. It's unionizing very select audiences. I'm sorry, very select individuals that are their livelihood is invested in it, and you get the people that are investing their hours into their livelihood
with blockchain and just being in the looking at the industry that are working, which is driver, is like right now. One of the things to be a driver for Sage, we want to say you have to prove to us that you have 10,000 hours logged as a rideshare driver, right? How do you do that? There's only really two ways that you can do that. You either have to have already worked for Uber, or you had to work for Lyft, or combined. It's cool, but you need to show us basically
rideshare college.
I mean, well, you need some type of documented proof. So from the driver, they need to give us two different documents. Well, one of the things that I could see with Sage kind of, again, like the whole concept is decentralization. So there's not a centralized entity that gets to say, oh, because we collected the information, we get to sell it and you don't get to profit. So like take Facebook. Everybody gives up their rights to be able to communicate on Facebook, and Facebook says, well, you're creating and YouTube too, you're creating the content, but YouTube gives you now a way to participate with the commercials, right? And people are making awesome money on YouTube if they're really good content creators. But the term content creator is relatively new. It's 5 years old, right?
Right.
And the people that started 5 years ago are making like six figures if they're good content creators. But you just have to create good content. So it's not like anybody can do it. You know, it's not like there's
you have to have a niche to fill. All things are a niche to fill.
Yeah. So, but with the blockchain, the idea is that your information can follow you, and it sounds like on some terms you're like, do I want everything that I did to follow me? you know, do I want that? But when it comes to like your driving history, there's advantages to that. And it's like, instead of just guessing and saying you should pay this much insurance, we see now insurance companies saying,
right,
dude, you shouldn't be paying the same amount monthly as somebody who drives 1,000 miles on their vehicle when you drive 10 miles. Like, your vehicle mostly sits at your house. So if we can collect that data, we'll give you a break. Like, if you're willing to share that information, and that's the way blockchains, we're seeing it being used. And the idea with drivers is that we could say, hey, when you come to drive for us, like, you own your information. We're not going to sell your information to companies that want to profit from you. Like, we're going to profit share with you because you earn that information. It's information that you earned. So if you log 100,000 miles on Sage platform and there's other competitions that show up and you want to go work for them, like, you could, that data can follow you. We're not going to make it hard for you to have that data. Like, you own it. It's part of your work history kind of. And it's just like, it's easy for you to take that data with you and share it. So that's one of the ways, like, I see blockchain is being used. But yeah, I mean, the use cases will continue, but one of the things is certainly that we're going to see is decentralization, in the idea that it's not a rich person's club anymore, where, you have to be a millionaire to be able to 10x, 20x, 30x your money and be part of that early investor club. And that's what we're creating here in the rideshare industry. I can tell you, like I said, if you look at Uber, if you had the opportunity to invest in Uber, hindsight's 2020 in the stock market. I promise you that. It's so easy to go, oh man, I put all my money in Uber because, Uber's a bad idea, like a bad business model, because what they did to hide their money, they're always showing a loss. But it's, as an industry, it's super profitable. But
again, it's like you were saying earlier. It's like it's been set up that prior to 2016, nobody could invest in a startup company unless you had 3 years showing that you were earning over $200,000 a year. That's been changed. So now, and it's been set up that the people that get the information are investing in something that is already up and running, and so you're not investing wisely. The people that invested in the startup have already made their money reselling their stocks to the working class.
Yeah, it's the working class is paid for so much.
Right. And so that's all changing now. If you open up your minds and invest in startups like Sage. Hey, listen, I'm going to tap out, by the way. I've had an excellent evening at the 2-hour and 40 mark.
You guys again.
You guys keep on rocking. Happy. Sometimes it snows in April Day. 5 years since the passing of Prince, and it's been very wonderful that 60 Minutes clocked in, and they're releasing the what is it? Wide Awake, not Wide Awake in America. That's U2. That was a U2 album. What is it called again?
Thing that they already released, or that they're doing something else?
Well, they're going to they advertised the new Prince album, essentially, of new music coming out.
Oh yeah, they did that special. It's called Welcome to America.
Welcome to America. And Wide Awake in America is a U2 album.
By the Prince estate, and it was recorded a long time ago, 15 years ago.
2010.
2010. Okay, so over 10 years ago. But yeah, about everything.
Very relevant
right now. It's still relevant as ever. And man, I've been listening to early Prince, like his guitar playing in 1978 and 1979. Oh, it's just crazy. It's like it's so good, and man, the stuff he does, and like not a lot of people know, but they just know the popular stuff.
Pop.
They said that in that 60 Minute special that there's enough music in his vault to release a new album every year for the next 50 years. So the rest of our lifetime, they could release a new album. And like, they interviewed people in his band. They're like, how much of it's good? And they're like,
Not much.
One.
No, they're like it's just there's tons. It's like it was produced. It's not like it's just rough drafts. It's like there's albums.
Nah,
and he's
he had
like, I'm not
producers
going to
working
release that.
constantly.
And his musicians were so awesome, like that they. So yeah, it was man, his vision.
Yep. Exactly. But it's really fascinating and hearing about how he manifested the reality of the music and played with the belief structure of the music industry and what a sound movement could be by being all of that, and going under pseudonyms to create a huge movement. Because you're that prolific, you can't do it under one title. You just keep
Right. Yeah, like The Time. I mean, that was all his.
So many. It's just really fascinating. And again, that's
like, who does that? Like, he was producing his own albums like once a year, and coming and making albums that he wrote and played all the instruments on the first 2 Time albums.
Yeah. Yes.
How is that possible? Like,
it's just what you do every day. When there's a belief that a band has to struggle with a studio and a record label, and they put out one album of 12 songs a year, when the reality is you could write 12 songs in 12 days. You know what I mean? And if you have, and once you are in that creative mindset, energy and movement, just it just keeps moving. Once you're in that flow, that's your work day.
Yeah.
Putting 40 hours a week to somebody else's dream is, there's a song called The Dream Factory, for Christ's sakes, that Prince put out. And the idea is if you put your dream, your intention into your attention into your intention, that's the dream factory that you can be prolific. Fucking prolific. Picasso is prolific. And that word is ridiculous to me. It's actually, everybody is prolific in their attention. It's the demand. People purchase your attention into their creative intentions. And that's the working class. We were raised in the working class where, trade your hours for dimes and not you're investing hour by hour into your food.
You get paid hourly.
Instead of having your money work for you, and we were discussing this evening, that wasn't available to us. But the creative class now actually holds the power more than ever, as attention is the next currency,
Yeah. And we talked about that last week too, is that's another way the blockchain is going to be used is.
And it's showing what do they call it? Non-fungible.
Non-fungible. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, it's the creative NFT class ability to use digital information into the creative process.
Have a part of it and realize I created it, but marketing, getting it out to people that want it is super valuable. And it's like, okay, well, if you do, I don't want to do that, but I'll give you some of the, if you can do that and you can monetize it, then that's great, but you shouldn't take all of it. I should get a fair shake of it as a creator. And these handshake deals are going to be much more equitable. They're going to be much fairer for creators. And I think
because the process becomes, it's all put into the hands of the artist again, instead of their dealers, their merch, their merchants. But right now also everybody has the ability to, not everybody, most people have the ability to log the creative. It's not an end result anymore. It's not just the finished product. It is the journey is so valuable. It's how much do you pay to watch Picasso paint Guernica? How much would you pay to have the day-to-day diary video footage of Led Zeppelin's, when they were at the Crowley House, you know what I mean? Or the White Album, right now there's a Beatles album, how many hours that, Jackson is putting together, of the final days of the Beatles. And it's just all of, and think about it, if everybody there in the room had a phone recording everything that you could then log in together. So now the data of life and the creative day to day is going to become more valuable than the final product. It's the experience, and those people that don't have the day-to-day life, the blessing and the curse of the creative class, they've always been fascinated by us. Ad hoc and BB, we were raised in the creative class thanks to who we are, but nevertheless, and our DNA. But D&D, actually playing Dungeons and Dragons and role-playing games, we spent our childhood as creating, living in the realm of possibilities.
We spent our childhood building worlds.
Building worlds.
Yeah.
Correct. And I think that this conversation started out in some fashion. You can see the power of building a world, and how it goes to those that want to see worlds burn, and creating QAnon. So creating a world in the creative class, that's where the next 10 years are going to go. So the more that we can collect data in the process of creating outlets, people want to be let out of their believed reality, their believed worlds, when you can create worlds for them. When you are raised creating worlds, well, then that's the power broker of the next decade. And so just this week, I just started overhead camming the creative process of the paintings that I work on, because I started working smaller. I started working tabletop, so that over a year ago, when everything went, digital, and we got on Twitch, I want to open up my studio. TK, studio visits started, and I'm just now figuring out how to do that. But the whole idea of selling or getting to the point of a non-fungible moment in time, you can own the final product. Somebody can own that final product, but to own the process, now that's something people are going to want. And it's on a million T-shirts. But if you want to think I'm something, come over to my house and we will watch the creative moment. We'll get really drunk and high and order pizzas and eat sushi, watching TK create that painting that has been on your child's book bag for the last year and a half that they can't stop talking about. Nevertheless,
well, I mean, it could be that way, but it also could be shared via YouTube. And the idea is that if you earn a couple pennies off of every view, doesn't sound like a lot, but when it's world famous or it goes viral, those couple pennies can turn into a lot of money.
One of my favorite mathematical things I got from Star Trek way back in the day.
Mathematical what?
The doubling penny.
The doubling penny. Yeah, the doubling penny. It's always been one of my favorite formulas to actually work through. If you make 1 penny a day and double it for just 1 month, you're well over $1 million.
1 month.
1 month. You double a penny every day for 1 month, and totally over $1 million a day.
Yep, that's what Capitol Records was, or Columbia House Records was built on.
I was just gonna say, I bought CDs like that.
Right?
It's 1 penny. You can get 11 CDs.
Ad hoc.
That's a good deal.
Tired.
It's just blurry.
Huh?
What's wrong?
Nothing.
You look tired.
She's shafaring. You don't believe her. She's trying to put you to sleep.
Yeah.
That's how she.
Tired.
Hey.
Hey.
I'm not
You are
tired.
getting
I'm tired.
sleepy.
You're tired.
Actually,
He's drunk.
So we were doing a swinging pendulum for you, and Jafar was trying to rewrite your
Hypnotized. I've been
conscious
hypnotized.
Hypnotized.
All right. Well, yeah, I guess I'm gonna go to sleep all of a sudden, so I gotta say goodbye.
It's working.
or I'll get us all kicked off of Twitch because I'm gonna fall asleep here.
Guess how many babies we rocked to sleep over the years? Tons.
Yep. So many babies we made with this exact same motion.
Go to sleep.
Hey.
Buckaroo.
So I wanted
Thank
to
you,
tell you,
Grandma Phil.
baby, that I was talking to Sir Luke on the phone.
Yep.
And he's the one that got me this scotch down into my belly.
Nice.
Responsible for this.
And he was drinking it as well. And I told him about the segment, What Are You Drinking?
Yes.
And that I had described what I was drinking. And then you asked a very important question, what year is it? And that I could not discover what year it was.
Right.
And he went to his own box and bottle in that moment and was like, I am looking for this, and it was established in 1897 and blah, blah, blah. He also could not find a year. And he was like, it's drinkable. That's when you lie and say it's a 10-year scotch. And I was like, oh, that's what I did. Obviously.
Sure, yeah, that works. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a 10-year and it's delicious.
10 year.
10 years is a safe fallback. That's
a safe fallback. 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not coming out for Tetris like 25 or
No.
No.
You don't drink a 25 with you lot. Absolutely not.
Not in this income.
Not at all.
No, no.
Private party.
That's a private party.
Not at our everyday. Yeah.
25 years of private
It's
party.
a unique. Yeah, that's a unique day. That's a unique day.
Baby, that
Inside
bottle
secret,
is
it's not that much better than the 12-year.
Right.
That's right. That's
It's
right.
a little more mellower.
Little
Right.
mellow,
All right.
sweeter.
Love you
All right.
guys.
Much love from the big
Thanks for
room,
meeting
to the universe.
again this week.
We'll be
Felt
there
a long
again.
time since last week.
It did.
Yeah,
It
It's
was
feeling a long time. Although I'll say this 3 hours went by pretty quick.
True.
Yeah.
But yeah, it did seem like it seems like there was more than a week that passed. And there's a lot of shit that happened in the last week with all the shootings and the verdict and all that.
Yeah. We didn't even get into that tonight and how epic.
Shall we? Shall we?
Right
No,
now.
no.
Too late now.
We were mainly talking about
Prince. Much more important than Derek Chauvin.
Oh yeah.
His mask and
Yeah.
Hey, Ad Hoc, are we going to see you on Saturday?
yes.
Lovely.
Black Cat Moan at the venue of Merging Arts. Saturday night.
Dobre noche.
Okay, Mame.
No.
It's gonna be. It's gonna be. It's
It's going to be bit bop bop bop.
We got new credits to roll. No, we don't.
Yeah, Ad Hoc is gonna be running sound.
And I think I convinced Kelsey to come out that night.
Wow, right on. She came at our last performance.
Yeah, which means I might be driving separately and taking care of that situation.
Right.
Right, we'll talk about that. Hey!
Okay.
Right on. All right. Much
Next
love.
Wednesday, right? Next Wednesday, do it again.
Be there, be square.
Everyone be safe, stay alive for another week.
Yeah, man.
And remember,
BB, I'm glad you got the shot, man. Feel a lot more comfortable about life.
Oh
Yeah.
man, we're getting
Good.
I didn't get mine yet, so I'm bound to I might not be here next week. I might be dead.
Get your shot, man.
I got
I think we're a few weeks away from
I'm
trying to
doomed.
plan an actual regathering at some point.
Right. Oh boy, that's gonna be epic.
Yeah, maybe so a month and a half or so, but we still
Oh,
got,
and there's gonna
we're
be
not that
pictures
far.
taken that day, boy.
They're gonna be
Year and a
back
half.
on the
It'll be
leaning
like a
cast.
year and a half
We
by
could
that
get
time.
together leaning cast again. Make it the
That would be
exact
our last
way.
time together.
That was the last time the three of us were together. Was at the leaning cask.
That's right.
Good place. Good place.
Yeah,
to
we
be.
could plan something there.
That's a great idea.
Woohoo! Yeah.
Viva la gouche.
Viva la gouche. My second shot is on the
Give it up. Boo, 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 boo.
Your second shot's when?
Boo, boo, boo. Yeah.
Your second shot's when?
On the 6th. 5/6.
Okay. Karen's mom's is the 11th.
Okay.
May 11th.
So we're looking at the 6th month. We're looking at.
Yeah, well, yeah, because
or for your birthday.
Her doctor said, Karen's mom's, K-Rock's mom said, her doctor said that she should wait 4 weeks after the second shot,
right,
to be fully inoculated because she's 94, and I guess that the older you are, the longer time frame is after the second shot. Because all of us are supposed to wait 2 weeks. Yeah, we're supposed to wait 2 weeks after our second shot.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so she should be cleared to be in public again on June 8th.
I guess I'll get mine next week. I could get my first shot tomorrow, but a week of my immune system, I'm sure to get COVID when I go to Johnstown. So, or maybe I just don't get it. I'll just go to Johnstown and just get it naturally.
Do you know which one? Which one did you get, T? Which one did you get?
Oh, I don't know.
Seneca or
you don't know which one you got?
The Moderna.
Somebody stuck a needle in my arm and I claimed it.
I just say give it to me.
Stick me, Doc.
I could look at the papers, but honestly, I was so thrilled to have the ability to just get it. I was like, do I want to wrap my head around which one's better, which one's
no.
Or just go into the pro-SIBO.
Yeah, no, you get whichever one. You get whatever you can get.
And I got the best one that was there for me because I'm fucking rocking it.
Even the Johnson & Johnson thing is ridiculous. They've stopped. They stopped delivering it for a bit there because 6 people out of 7 million got blood clots.
And every human is different, and that's actually something this virus has taught us as well, reminded us.
Correct. But
I also 6 out of 7 million got rare blood clots, and they
What's the
shut down
percentage?
by news. But the fact being that they shut down the entire vaccination process.
They're not. They're
and
not.
one fucking Nazi brony kills 8 people at a FedEx facility, and they don't do shit about guns. Yes, that's 8 people in one evening got murdered by a brony.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to 6 from 7 million over the last several months. Stop it all,
And
you know why they stopped it all? Because there's competitors.
Yeah,
there's competitors for the miracle cure.
Oh yeah. Yeah, whatever though, man. We're getting back to it. We're gonna get back.
All right, we'll get it back.
All right, boys.
I love you, brothers.
Be safe,
all. My brothers. Everybody, thank you for being a part of the big room and the 4 decades that we've spent building this moment for you. Cheers, Glue.
I'm scarred for life, but I'm set for life, and I'm set for life, but I'm scarred for life, and I'm coming at you. I'm fucking crazy. I'm fucking psycho, fucking insane.
That's the fucking chorus right there.
You nailed it, dude. You nailed it. You nailed it, and you visually transformed into fucking Joe Rogan.
You did.
You fucking,
Joe Rogan, yeah.
Yeah, you did. You visually transformed into Joe Rogan. It was amazing.